On the shores of Lake Ontario in beautiful downtown Toronto, this is the Skydome, where tonight the Kansas City Royals come to town. Will the World Series be coming to town in 1991? Lots of people think so. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight. These Blue Jays playing some great baseball. Tonight, taking on Kansas City, and Ray, we get a chance to see two great offensive stars. One of them is Danny Tartabull. He's third in the league right now in hitting. He's fourth in home runs. He is fifth in RBIs.
Well, Danny Tartabull is a tremendous offensive force, Gary. He just has tremendous power. Very, very strong man. His hands are extremely strong. You see the way he holds the bat here, the barrel pointed toward the pitcher, and he has tremendous hand action. He drops the bat down to almost waist level, kicks that left foot up. Tremendous power generated here. And watch how his bat speed starts to generate right here as he shifts that weight on the right side. Head stays right on the baseball, and as a result, he just gets tremendous extension, stays back with great balance, and as a result, hits a lot of 400-foot home runs.
That is a pretty swing of a power hitter right there. The other guy we're going to see tonight is Joe Carter, batting at .305. He, too, among the leaders in home runs and RBIs, has been all season. Little different swing.
Well, he does have a different swing. Joe Carter is a very quiet hitter. He doesn't move his upper body very much. Danny Tartabull uses a lot of his lower body, but you're going to watch Carter here. Very wide stance, good balance there, but his hands are about shoulder width up, but very little movement in his hands. You see little movement, but tremendous upper body strength. Cito Gaston says he's the strongest player he's had here, including George Bell. Look how he locks himself in with his lower body. He doesn't even turn his left hip out. Looks very stiff. He has the ability to rake that low breaking ball down the left field line, has the ability to hit balls over the fence to left field. Tremendous pull hitter, but a lot different than Danny Tartabull. We're going to see a tremendous matchup tonight if these two guys get pitches to hit.
Boy, they've had some pitches to hit. Danny Tartabull's #1 in slugging percentage in the league, and Joe Carter, .576, right behind him. Big hitters, big swings. Starting lineup tonight, let's take a look at it for the Kansas City Royals. Gary Thurman will be leading it off, right-handed hitter in left field. The son of Brian McRae in center field, switch hitter. There he is, George Brett, bats working, he's the DH. Danny Tartabull, the cleanup batter, he'll make the start in right field. Tom Benzinger over from Cincinnati, and he's at first base. Outstanding season for Bill Pecota. He'll make the start at third. Kevin Seitzer, he will be working tonight along with Terry Shumpert at second base, and the shortstop is David Howard. Take a look on a beautiful night. The Dome is going to be open here tonight. That means the ball will carry. When they get this thing open, and especially during the summer when the temperatures happen to be up, you'll see the ball do some flying. This ballpark, home runs have increased 18% for the teams that play here compared to other ballparks. Primary reason is just because it flies when it's open. The dimensions here are pretty much fair. As you see, the 328 down each line, 375 in the power alleys where the home runs tend to be hit, and 400 straightaway center. Ray, those are pretty much cookie-cutter dimensions, but it's not a cookie-cutter park, though.
Well, you see in batting practice, guys like Shumpert, McRae, who are line drive type hitters, hit the ball up there 20, 30 rows deep. A couple of guys hit the ball just below that glass you see in center field there. Joe Carter and Tartabull, the guys with power plus, go up there in that second and third deck consistently.
Closing skippers tonight's game. There he is, Hal McRae took over for John Wathen. They are 30 and 26 under Hal McRae's command. Easygoing players kind of manager. Same thing on the other side in Cito Gaston. He, too, a players kind of manager, Ray. Great respect for the players for both of them.
Well, I spoke to many of the guys today, and these guys just are able to come to the ballpark. Cito doesn't say a whole lot. He only says things positive reinforcement type guy. Hal McRae played that way. A very serious type player when he was with the Reds in Kansas City. Played hard, and he just expects his players to go out and do the same. Starting tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays, left-hander Jimmy Key, 6'1", 190 pounds. Control-type pitcher, fastball that tails away, big slow curveball, change-up that acts like a screwball, and a cut fastball he likes to throw in on right-handed hitters. Behind the plate, we have veteran Pat Borders. And the infield for tonight for the Blue Jays, Roberto Alomar, just tremendous defensive player, outstanding range, turns the double play as well as anybody, having a big offensive year with 32 stolen bases. The outfield, Devon White, Golden Glove center fielder out there, also having a tremendous season, 23 doubles, 7 triples, 22 stolen bases. He and Alomar combined to be the two teammates with the most stolen bases on any one club in all of baseball.
And another big crowd on hand here tonight where they continue to pack them in. Over 48,000 the average. We'll talk about the attendance and what they're doing with it here as we move along tonight. For the season series, the Toronto Blue Jays leading the Kansas City Royals 6-3 as they go into their final series of the season here. 3 games to be played tonight and 2 day games, one Saturday and one Sunday. The Toronto Blue Jays lost to Chicago 7-1. Ball game yesterday. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Kansas City's on a roll, though, for the first time this season. The Royals have won 5 in a row, 8 of their last 10. They are coming off a 2-0 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers, and they're 2 games under 500 now. Jimmy Key ready to go, and the pitch to Gary Thurman is taken for a ball, and we are underway on ESPN's Friday Night Baseball. And delighted to have you with us. Take a look at the numbers of this 26-year-old who's making the start in left field after the fastball and misses.
Gary Thurman really runs well, known as a great 4th outfielder, doesn't get to play too often. Has tremendous speed, outstanding defensive player. Last year he hit .364 against left-handed pitchers when he did play.
He's getting the ball out in fair territory. He's hit safely in 8 of the last dozen games that he's been in for a .324 clip. Included in that is one 4-hit game. You see the numbers. He's had a bit of a struggle against the lefties, and of course it is a lefty Jimmy Key on the mound tonight, and that'll be fouled back. For the Kansas City Royals, they are 16-12 against left-handed starters, .266 team batting average off left-handers. Done pretty well against the lefties this season, and of late, Ray was saying they've not seen a lot of left-handers of late. When they have, they've done well. Jimmy Key hoping to get out of a little froth he's in right now as the pitch misses up high. Key has not won a decision in his last 6 starts and has lost his last 4. That is very unusual for this 30-year-old left-hander. Part of the problem, the Texas Rangers, Ray.
Yeah.
Down to third, off the glove of Kelly Gruber, making the turn Thurman. He's going to go into second base with one of the strangest doubles you'll ever see. That ball never got beyond the third base bag, and it'll be a 2-bag leadoff double for Thurman.
Fastball down. Thurman mentioned his great speed. Here he just turns on the fastball. Gruber making a good play, getting a good first step. Ball bounding off of that AstroTurf and going all the way over to the rail, and Thurman, possessor of that great speed, ends up on second base easily.
No sooner did you mention speed, does he burn around that first base bag or what?
He can flat out fly.
Oh, mama. Rocket Ishmael is going to be joining us later in this game. Maybe we ought to set up a little contest out there. And that one is back. That would have been playable, but Borders, the catcher, could not find that. So they're charging as the Kansas City Royals are going to try and get it moved up. With McRae on a 5-game hit streak. 7 hits in his last 21 at-bats. Nevertheless, job right here to try and get him moved around. See the numbers for Brian. He checking at second base, and they'll try and hold Thurman as close as they can. Chopped. That'll get the runner over. Annie Lee makes the play, and that's close at first on McRae. Runner at third with 1 out now.
Brian McRae obviously trying to inside out the ball and go the other way. Key cuts a fastball in on his hands. Manny Lee charging the ball, throwing on the run. McRae showing you speed. Bang, bang play at first base. You mentioned Thurman's speed. McRae runs extremely well. Shumpert runs well. So this team, young Kansas City Royal team, runs extremely well.
Some jets burning out there. They've got a chance to pick up a run early now, as Brett is up 271 with runners in scoring position for him this season. And Jimmy Key catches the outside corner, strike 1.
Gary mentioned Jimmy Key struggling. The reason is because he is not a power pitcher, a control-type pitcher, lives and dies with that control over the plate. See, he makes 2 perfect pitches on George Brett. Away, George Brett really hits the ball extremely well away, well off the plate. But Jimmy Key, a master at putting the ball where he wants to. When he doesn't, he's in big trouble.
Brett got it over the middle of the plate that time to center field. Yvonne White, runner tagging Thurman. Throw will come, but no chance with all that speed. That was a pretty good throw. So credit George Brett with the RBI on the sacrifice fly. That'll be his 38th run batted in, his 5th sacrifice fly of the season, and the Royals have jumped out here in the first inning with speed to a 1-0 lead. Danny Tarnable coming to the plate. When we watch him tonight, Danny, what do we look at to see if you're on?
If Danny Tarnable goes out today and uses the entire field, pitches that are away, hits it to right field, pitches that are in, he pulls them, and Danny Tarnable is swinging the bat the way he should be.
Let's keep an eye on him. What a season for Danny Tarnable. Second only to Kirby Puckett coming into the game in batting average. He is 4th in home runs, RBIs, ranked right now at 5th. First in slugging with a tremendous .619 slugging percentage. His on-base percentage is 9th best in the league, and on it goes.
Gary, he mentioned pulling the baseball. He hits 30% of the balls to left field, 40% to center, 30% to right, according to our Elias book, and we certainly have seen him go deep to center field, 410 15-foot home runs with regularity over that center field fence. Makes him very tough to pitch to.
So strong, so powerful. Look where the infielders are, short and second. They're in the outfield. Tarnable waiting. Jimmy Key stays away from him. He's not going to take the chance. Tarnable will be on with a Jimmy Key walk, and you might want to put that on your VCR because Jimmy Key doesn't walk anybody. That is his 24th walk in 124 innings. If I remember right, that's only the second walk in 8 games for him. But he's just not going to fool around with the power of Tarnable, who's sizzling hot right now. Kansas City up 1-0, 2 down. Tarnable on at first base. And here is Todd Benzinger. Acquired, of course, from the Cincinnati Reds, where he was unhappy because he was not getting playing time. He's going to get some playing time here, and if he continues to do what he's started with, he's going to get a lot of playing time.
Hal McRae said that he has been the solidifier of this team offensively and defensively. That surprised me. Todd Benzinger not being known as a solid defensive first baseman. Played outfield mostly in the minor leagues and with the Red Sox. The Royals have had a lot of trouble at first base after Brett went down with the injury, starting a host of guys over there, and this man has really filled the bill for him of late.
Boy, has he ever. Benzinger in a breaking ball. That one will be taken for a strike. John Hirschbeck working behind the plate in tonight's game. Dave Phillips is on at first. Hickok's at second, and Ted Hendry is at third. He is a switch hitter.
Much better left-handed hitter throughout his career.
How about 15 RBIs in his first 13 games with Kansas City?
Well, that'll make a manager think highly of you in a hurry.
That'll endear you to the home crowd right away, won't it? He's hit .404 his last 10 games with 14 RBIs. Jimmy Key gets him to go after one out of the strike zone right there, though, and the count is 2-2 with 2 down.
But Gary, this is what makes Jimmy Key. We talk about control. This is that changeup that he just turns over away, moves like a screwball away from right-handed hitters. If you swing at it, you're dead.
Got it back inside on him that time. John Olerud moves out into foul territory at first base, and that will do it. Benzinger retired. But the leadoff double by Gary Thurman proved to be very fruitful. A 1-0 lead for KC. 20 games at home. Nobody's won more. Detroit has equaled that number. Devon White, switch hitter, leads it off. He'll be in center field. An outstanding season. Roberto Alomar, the second baseman, another switch hitter. Joe Carter, talk about great seasons. He's in right. John Olerud trying to nail it down at first base, left-handed hitter. And a struggle getting in the lineup. Kelly Gruber, almost healthy. It'll be Rance Mullenix, the designated hitter, left-handed batter. Working in left field tonight is Rob Ducey. Doing the catching, Pat Borders. He'll be batting in the 8th spot, and manually the shortstop will bat tonight.
Mike Boddicker, the pitcher tonight for the Kansas City Royals. You're talking about a man that has a variety of pitches. Throws 2 fastballs. He has a pitch he calls a fastball. Has a pitch he calls a frisbee. Throws breaking balls at every angle, at every different speed. Also a cut fastball and a slider, about 6 different pitches, and throws a lot of strikes. Catching tonight, rookie Tim Spear. And defense for the Kansas City Royals, Todd Benzinger, the first baseman, mentioned how he's doing offensively, shoring up this team on defense, doing a great job at first base. In the outfield, Brian McRae, outstanding range laterally, charges the ball extremely well, great throwing arm. This may be the best center fielder of the future in the American League.
So the Toronto Blue Jays will have to battle from behind in their first at-bat as Devon White, the switch hitter, stands in. In at third base is Bill Pecota, and the fastball misses up high. White this season, .312 right-handed and .269 from the left side. He's had 4 home runs right-handed and 1 batting left. And Boddicker will get that one in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Gary, Mike Boddicker and Jimmy Key a lot alike. Control-type pitcher, spot the ball in and out, changing speed on the fastball.
Both tough on the opposing hitters. That one ripped, got that one up and in. Play by Danny Tarnable and a lead-off single. So Devon White is on, and here come the Blue Jays.
When you throw 85, 86 miles an hour, one thing you can't do is throw the ball up. Here's a ball high right down the middle of the plate, and those balls are going to get lit up.
Blue Jays hitters have struggled a bit of late as far as picking up the runs are concerned. They've got some great pitching, but the run production's declined over the last half dozen games, so they would love to get back onto it here at home where they really wrap it out. I told you this club with 30 wins at home, one of the reasons they're batting .278 here at the Dome, .250 on the road. And they love to hit home runs here, particularly Joe Carter. And they are here on this homestand trying to take advantage of all that. Nobody out. Way outside by Boddicker to another switch hitter, Roberto Alomar.
Roberto doing everything plus that they anticipated him doing here with the Blue Jays. Stealing bases, playing great defense, driving in runs, hitting for a good average.
Trying to lay one down to move the runner up. Will push that one away.
And that's something that the Toronto Blue Jays did not do last year very effectively. They did not move runners well, and that's one reason they're leading the league this year, because they're doing so many things more fundamentally sound.
Ray, how difficult is it compared to grass bunting on this artificial surface?
I never thought it was too difficult. If you deaden the ball, if you just catch the ball with the barrel of the bat and just give a little bit, you can bunt the ball effectively. If you're a poor bunter, it's tough, but if you're a good bunter, it doesn't have much effect on you.
See what he does here with a 1-1 count. White at first base, of course, has outstanding speed. He has picked up 22 stolen bases. He has been caught only 6 times, and he's among the top 10 in stolen bases in the league. There you see his success rate compared to the major league average. Boddicker's pitch misses away. Ricky Henderson has only 33 stolen bases this season. Alomar is only 1 behind him. And White is 6th with those 22. Ricky's been bothered by the hamstring all season long. He may be playing, but he's not 100%. 2-1 count. Not a big lead at first. Nevertheless, Boddicker steps off. The big guy, Joe Carter, waiting on deck. 2-1 delivery right up the middle. He went with it. Played by McRae. I want to tell you, talking about going where the pitch is, that's what that was right there by Alomar. He's now had 15 hits in his last 33 at-bats.
Mike Boddicker, 2-1, chooses to go with a fastball and actually makes a very good pitch down around the ankles, but Alomar just not trying to do too much with it, right back up the middle, a bullet.
That's keeping your head in and on. That's a 1-0 ball game. Kansas City leading, but the Jays' first 2 hitters are on. Runners at first and second, and here is Carter. And he tries to bunt. How about that?
How about it?
Why? I don't care if the third baseman's in left field. Why would you bunt here in the first inning of a 1-0 game with 2 on and nobody out? I don't think that's Cito. I think Joe Carter was on his own.
Oh, he definitely was on his own there. Saw the third baseman back. And Gary just decided to go ahead and try to get runners on the bases and try for a big inning. I see a lot of third-place hitters do that, especially early in the ball game. But a guy as hot as Joe Carter, I know Cito has to be shaking his head, but Olerud's really swinging the bat well. Gruber's beginning to come on, so it's really not a bad play early.
Carter with 2 on, a 1-1 count on him. And that's an outside corner pitch that he really doesn't like. I mean, really doesn't like.
Well, one thing he doesn't like about it, Gary, is you see Boddicker drop down from Laredo and throw that sidearm fastball, a little different angle for Joe Carter. First time that Boddicker has dropped down. We mentioned all the different angles that he throws from.
I'm not going to say anything. Don't look at me and smile. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Umpires aren't perfect. Runners go, and it is fouled off. So Cito Gaston has them going on a 1-2 count with nobody out.
I think that's a tremendous play, Gary. First off, Boddicker throws a lot of those slot pitches or breaking balls or pitches that he just shows hitters, especially when he's ahead in the count. They're 1-2. Devon White on second base, having seen 3 or 4 pitches. I don't know if it was a direct steal from Cito or just Devon recognizing the pitch, took off in the slow breaking ball.
17 of his 23 home runs have been hit here. That one is a pop-up behind home plate. And it's going to end up, as you see, about 3 rows back over the screen. And the count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes on Carter. All the big numbers for Joe Carter this season as he leads this club in offensive production. He in the American League leads in extra base hits, 2nd in total bases, 2nd in slugging, 3rd in RBI, 6th in hits, 2nd in doubles. And he's got a couple on here with White at 2nd, Alomar at 1st, still nobody out. Infield wants the 2. Runners are not going, and Carter on the off-speed pitch fouls it back. Boy, they are making Boddicker work right here. We had a chance to ask Joe Carter about hitting here when that roof is open.
Usually when the roof is open up, the ball does not travel that good, especially center field. But ever since Calvin and Sussel came in and hit the monstrous home runs in the Gatorade home run hitting contest, the wind's been blowing out. And for some reason, it's continued to blow out. So the ball does carry now with the roof open.
I was asking him and Cito about that. Earlier in the season, in center field is where the dome covers come together, and it is covered out there in center, and they said the ball tended to die. But after that All-Star game, they kind of jokingly say it was Ripken. Ripken came in here and just drove all the wind out. What, he had 12 home runs?
12
he hit?
Home runs.
Oh, in that home run derby? So that took care of that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Royals leading 1-0. We're only in the 1st, and a tough pitch by Boddicker. He gets the strikeout on Carter.
Well, after Boddicker threw 2 breaking balls, he comes down, drops down, and runs a fastball in. Look at that sideways movement on that fastball. Again, the quiet swing, but he gets all tied up, tries to move his hands inside, looking for something soft, throws the fastball by him.
Big strikeout. Carter's done pretty well staying away from those. He has 65 strikeouts, but has drawn 34 walks. Very acceptable with all those other numbers. John Olerud gets the strike on the outside corner. Note tonight, home plate umpire John Hirschbeck looks like he's got some pretty good leeway. He's going to give the pitchers the benefit on the corners. At least he has thus far. Olerud has struggled with runners in scoring position, batting only .200 this season in that department. 2 on as they bluff White back to the bag at 2nd.
Well, if there's an umpire that's liberal, guys like Mike Boddicker and Jimmy Key will usually eat hitters alive because they start throwing the ball out there on the outside black. As the game progresses, they get an inch or 2 farther out. By the end of the game, they're throwing balls 4 inches away. And umpires give them that pitch for a strike, Gary. I remember Fernando Valenzuela did that better than anybody I've ever faced. Establish that pitch away and just move it on out an inch or 2 an inning, and had that great command to do that.
Gray with the arms crossed. They're trying to hold these base runners close. White at second base with that tremendous speed. They've got a chance for a double play here if they can get the ground ball. Olerud will foul that one off, and it's an 0-2 count. Great to have you with us. First game of our doubleheader on this Friday night here on ESPN. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight, Skydome. And we'll have close to 50,000 people again on hand as this series gets underway between these two teams. The crew worked all night after the football game that was played here, and I mean all night, in order to get this field back and ready for baseball. 0-2 the count, one away. John Olerud fooled in the off-speed pitch, second base. Jumpert's got it, and there are two down. And keeping us updated, Gary Miller.
All right, thank you, Gary. Here's what's going on between the A's and O's in Baltimore. Terry Steinbach in a rain-soaked field lifts one that Chito Martinez has no clue with. Goes off the wall for a triple. Dave Henderson and Harold Bain score in the opening inning, and Oakland's batting in the second, nursing that 2-0 lead. Back to Skydome.
We'll keep checking in with Gary on the other Major League action taking place on this Friday night. Here is Kelly Gruber. Back in the lineup once again with 2 on and 2 down, and Bodeker's got a chance to have a very good inning. White singled, Alomar singled. He struck out Carter, Olerud on the pop-out. So the runners are still at first and second, but now there are 2 outs. Kelly Gruber. Oh, mama.
Oh.
You see that?
Oh. That'll make you buckle and knees become real weak.
Whine, cry, hiss.
And swing too early.
Swing 3 times, and it still isn't there. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Gruber will fight that one off, and Bodeker's ahead on the count 1-2.
Here you notice what happens. He throws that breaking ball up there about 60 miles an hour, then comes back with just an 84 mile an hour, 85 mile an hour fastball, and the hitters just cannot get the bat out front. It messes you up. You start thinking about all the off-speed stuff that Mike Bodeker has, and you're never on the fastball.
Got him right here, 1-2. Bends that one. White's going to third. The throw skips. Good backup. They go to second for Alomar. No play there. White stays at third. Beer. Nice job to block it. Throw was a little short. Good backup job by Howard, the shortstop.
There's that frisbee pitch where he drops down, throws the breaking ball. Tremendous play by Spear. Coming up with, once he learns the speed, boy, he goes out there about 6 feet to catch that ball. Once he learns.
Now stays at 2-2. It's been a long season for Kelly Gruber because it's been very short. This is only the 49th game he's played in. It's been one injury after another. And when he's had chances, you can see that 130 batting average, second worst in the league.
Well, I think that's due to not being able to play. Last year he had 118 RBIs, so the man can drive in some runs, but it's very tough when he doesn't get.
Right off the fist, center field, misjudged. McRae will not get a play. 2 runs will score. Nobody's covering second base. A 2-1 Blue Jays lead. McRae went back 4 steps and couldn't get it as he misjudged the baseball.
Bodeker busts him inside with a fastball, and Kelly gets jammed, but with a big swing, McRae starts back, gets a bad jump, then with the AstroTurf has to stop and let the ball bounce.
So he's on at second base. He will be credited with a double and 2 RBIs on that. Now here's the designated hitter, Rance Mullenix, and it is a 2-1 lead. And boy, is that tough on Mike Bodeker.
Well, after the first 2 hitters gets base hits, Gary, he pitches Carter extremely well, strikes him out, jams Olerud, then jams Gruber, and rightfully he should be out of here with no runs.
That hurts. It is a double and 2 RBIs, as we said. He's now at second. Mullenix takes the pitch inside. For Kelly Gruber, now has 29 RBIs. Ray, that's one of those situations where you can call an error on that as an official scorer. I'm not sure it's not fair to say that's an error. That ball should have been caught. Still 2 down. Bodeker goes away from him. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Gary, it certainly appeared that he should have been called. What happened? So many things come into play this time of night. as the sun's setting with this roof open, you start having trouble picking up the ball in the crowds. So it's very difficult for a scorer.
That is a base hit down the left field line by Mullenix. Kelly Gruber will score. Mullenix on his way to second base. Thurman will get it in, and it is a 3-1 Blue Jays lead.
Mullenix staying back, fastball in. He just inside out it, drives it right over Pacota's head, right down in that corner. Thurman making chase for the ball, but just an easy double, and that's what happens so often. After you pitch your way out of a jam, somebody makes an error, misplays a ball, then, man, all of a sudden it becomes a huge inning.
He's got to be screaming inside. That's another reason why I would charge an error on that. Those runs should all be unearned. I don't disagree with you, Ray, that, you know, he may have lost that ball in the crowd or whatever, but Boddicker suffers for all of this when he really isn't the reason that it's a 3-1 ball game.
Gary, I definitely believe there's merit to a team error. I don't know why there hasn't been more studies done, or at least more positive reaction to a team error. You have team fouls in basketball, and it just, I guess it's too logical.
Yeah, that's probably it, huh? That one is fouled off by Ducey. So the Jays, who are trailing 1-0, have now sent 7 men to the plate here in the bottom half of the first inning. Let me back up on the scoring on that crazy play on what we thought was a wild pitch. They have credited White with a stolen base. Alomar reaches second on an error charged to the catcher. All right. 1-2 delivery. Ducey into the hole. Base hit. Here comes Mullenix. Throw by Danny Tarnable is off the mark. They go to second, not in time. It'll be a single and an RBI. Goes to second on the throw, and McRae can only wonder what is going on here.
Boddicker throws a big, slow curveball. Ducey stays back, wraps the ball to right field, and just some bad defensive play by Kansas City. The ball should have been cut. Really no play at home. Ball way offline. Then Spear decides to throw to second base when he had no chance for Ducey.
Rob Ducey getting his first hit ever off Boddicker and his 4th chance. Ducey's second run batted in.
If Benziger cuts that ball, Gary, there's 3 outs, and now Kansas City's in the dugout. You're taught with 2 outs to take an out for a run. When there's any play at home, you round first base, going towards second base, trying to make that first baseman cut the ball and give up the run. Ducey did that. Benziger didn't cut the ball. As a result, run in, runner on second.
2 RBIs for Gruber, 1 for Mullenix, 1 for Rob Ducey, and now Pat Borders, the catcher, 8th man up in the inning. Breaking ball by Boddicker, misses ball 1. Oh, this is a strange inning. Nobody knows that better than Mike Boddicker. Borders got fisted on that one and fouls it back. Borders 0 for 5 lifetime in his chances against this guy. Boddicker is 8 and 11 lifetime against these Kansas City Royals. 33-year-old veteran won't be noticeably shaken by this inning, but he'll be a little enraged inside. 1-1. Pretty good mustard on that one.
Team 10 is trying to get Pat Borders going. Last year, this man hit 15 home runs in just 120 ball games, 300-plus at bats. This year has yet to hit a home run, only hitting .250 with 10 RBIs. Drove in 49 last year.
That one's going to be trouble. It'll be a foul ball. Nobody was going to get to it. I'll tell you, baseball always evens things out. The Blue Jays lost a 7-1 game yesterday to the Chicago White Sox, where everything that could land fair did. There were balls that were just fluttering out and dropping in, and now in this first inning, it looks like the Blue Jays have the Angels on their shoulders.
Well, that's why they play 162 games. If you have the talent and all those breaks are supposed to even out, and the superb team with the best blend should win.
McRae can only say, yeah, but that wasn't our fault yesterday. Why us? 1-2 count, 2 down. Runner at second base. Breaking ball to third, and that'll do it. Pacoda hauls it in, but there are 4 runs scored, all earned on 5 hits in the first inning. 4-1 Toronto. Now from Notre Dame, now playing with the Toronto Argonauts. Last night they beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He had 37 rushing, 43 receiving, 147 total yards. He had 360 on the season now. The Argos are 3-0. Rocket, nice to have you with us.
Oh, great to be here.
How are you enjoying it?
Everything's going well. I'm really having a good time.
You got a bigger field, wider, longer. What do you think of it?
Hey, I tell you what, when I really get in the game shape and I get back accustomed to just running routes and everything, I think it's going to really work out well.
Rocket, how do you feel about being up here in Canada as opposed to playing in the States?
Hey, it's fun, man. It's a new experience. You know, it's something different, and it's just an opportunity for myself and for the rest of the guys on the team to really make something happen in the league.
Now look at those 12 guys out on the field at one time. I just can't get used to that. That bother you when you start?
It does look like an awful lot of guys out there. I tell you what, it's kind of confusing, but, you know, the coach said and the guy said as the game goes on, I'll get more accustomed to it and it will seem normal.
All right. Rocket is going to join us here, if he will. We're going to give you this mic.
Okay.
I'm going to go back over here. And the pitch is going to be taken by Bill Pacoda. Pacoda will be up against Jimmy Key, who suddenly finds himself with the lead. He left and it was 1-0. Comes back out and it's 4-1. Now one taken for a strike by Pacoda. He's had 10 hits in his last 28 at-bats, and he has been red hot. And as we said, this is the same field where the Rocket was playing last night. And our producer insists you tell us, what is an Argonaut?
Well, I believe from what I've learned, an Argonaut is some type of a boatman. One of the guys who rowed the boats, you know, you see like Jason and the Argonauts. The guy.
Jason, you're right. And it keeps going. We may have a slugfest before this thing is over. Pacoda picks up a leadoff single here in the second inning. And so the Royals, who got a run and a hit in the first inning, they started it out with a Thurman double, and they get a leadoff single here by Pacoda. Well, you've been the subject of so much press activity here and excitement in this area. You're a superstar before you ever took the field here. Do you sense that here in Toronto?
Well, I guess so, but it's something where I really don't dwell on it, so it really doesn't bother me as much as you would think. But, you know, you get used to things like that and just go with the flow.
Hey, better that way than not being known.
Exactly.
They pay you a lot more for when you're in the headlines than they do when you're out, I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
Tim Spear, who is the rookie catcher. McFarland is out of there and injured right now. So Spear is getting some duty as he has been called up. McFarland has a medial collateral ligament tear. Boy, you hate to see those, and it was a collision with Joe Carter on the 15th of this month that caused it. So he's going to be out for a couple of months. All athletes hate to hear that word, medial collateral.
Curse.
Boy, it is. Right in the middle of your knee. He went after it as it's down and away, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Came last night to watch you play here, Rocket, and you're drawing almost 40,000 people for games. What's it like playing in this place?
It's magnificent. I mean, to actually be inside, but yet playing outside, you know, when they pull the dome back, it's just great. And the way they adjust everything from game to game, from baseball to football, is just fantastic.
3-1 count. Tell us the things that are the most different. I find that, I mean, you got 3 downs.
Right.
So it reshapes the whole game.
It does, but it's like you find there's only 37 guys on a team, and there's only a certain amount of Americans that can play each game, and everybody has to play special teams more or less. So you find yourself, if you're not in top shape, you're really sucking some wind. But I mean, other than that, you know, it's not much different. You get used to it.
Second walk given up by Jimmy Key, and now he's in trouble. He starts the second inning after a very long break, Ray Knight. He had a long time to sit on the bench over there, and maybe he's feeling the effects of that.
Well, you mentioned only 1 walk in the previous 7 games. Walked Tartable in the first inning. Now his second walk. He wasn't sharp early. Gave up the base hit to Thurman. Threw a lot of pitches in that first inning. But you're right, Gary. Sitting over there wasn't sharp to start with. He's got to find himself and get in that groove.
Terry Shumpert squaring to bunt, and it is a strike called. That strike zone's got some size to it tonight. He looked back, too. That one looked like it might have been a little high. Let's see if he's going to try and lay it down and move Pacoda and Spear around. 4-1 ball game with the Blue Jays leading. Shumpert's had only one hit in his last 26 at-bats. So they've moved in at the corners. He puts it down. They got a chance at third. He got it. Kelly Gruber takes the throw from Jimmy Key.
I think Rocket's already become a Blue Jay fan. Gary, great bunt here. Shumpert deadens the ball. You mentioned that. Good bunt. The ball gets out, but a left-hander can only make this play. Perfect throw and gets him about 6 inches. Great play by Jimmy Key. Again, he deadens the ball. Key coming off the mound, filling it with his glove, continuing to run, throwing it just like the shortstop to second base, and nabs Pacoda at third.
Ray, while it's easier said than done, youngsters watching, remember something. You got a left-hander and you're trying to move somebody up. You don't want to bunt to third.
Absolutely. You got to bunt the ball to the right side.
Because he has to turn around if you bunt it to first. If you bunt it to third, he's looking right at the bag. But that's easier said than done. Now here's David Howard, the shortstop. Runners at first and second and one out.
Jerry, I'm glad you mentioned that. There's an old baseball adage or belief that with runners on first and second, you bunt the ball hard down the third baseline and make the third baseman field the ball. I've always felt it was wrong with left-handed pitchers, as you pointed out, and there was a case that proved it.
Howard off the fist to left. Rob Ducey will come in and get under this one. And there are 2 down. Rocket Ismail joining us with the Argonauts. They played 3 games. As we said, they are undefeated. You've got some other football players now in the family, yes?
Right. My brother Kadri and my younger brother Suleiman. Kadri, he's going into his 3rd year at the University of Syracuse, and I'm getting an opportunity to watch a lot of their games this year. And my little brother, he's going to prep school in Wyoming Seminary out in Pennsylvania, so it's going to get an opportunity to see a lot of his games also.
Will you have a chance to see him play?
Definitely.
That's great. They get up here to see you?
Yeah, they came up, actually, they were supposed to come up last night, but some things happened with transportation, so they're going to be up here the 15th for our next home game.
That's really nice.
Well, we know how great a football player you are. Were you ever a baseball player?
I played baseball once when I was, I guess, in the 6th grade. But then after that, I moved to Pennsylvania, and track took over, so it was like that.
Gary Thurman at the plate. He'll take that for a strike. And here's a chance now for Key to do what Boddicker could not. Runners on at first and second with 2 down. Let's see if he can get out of the inning without being scored upon. After the first 2 batters reached, Pacoda and Spear. Spear's now the lead runner at second base, and Terry Shumpert on at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't know if we dare to ask Rocket what his favorite team is, though. He's kind of hiding on us on that every time we look at him and mention it. That's all right, because I think I know what it is. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lined, and it is going to be a base hit. No interference. It'll go into center. A run will score. Runners at first and third, and it's a 4-2 ball game. And what a great piece of base running by Tim Spear, the rookie, at second, as he blocked out Manuel Lee and didn't get hit by it and didn't get called for interference.
Well, Gary, I don't know if he had any choice. This ball is a rocket. No pun intended. But right there, he starts to move toward third on the crack of the bat. Manny Lee really just flinches the ball. He has no chance on it once he turns, but I don't think he had any choice.
Made him look good, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That is going to be RBI number 10 for Gary Thurman, playing in his 54th game, and it is a 4-2 ball game, so Key could not get out of it here. Now first and second, Brian McRae. The single by Thurman with 2 down. He's 2 for 2, an RBI and a run scored. McRae has got a 5-game hit streak, rounded out his first time up. You see his numbers on with runners in scoring position. Breaking ball. Ow, almost picked Key off. Played by Alomar. They get the out. Lee going over to second to get the fourth play. Wow, we've only played an inning and a half. We've had about 2 games worth of action. Rocket, if we can keep you here, we're going to hang on for another half inning.
Okay.
Oh, as you look up and through the dome, which is open here tonight, Rocket Ishmael joining us. Gary Thorne and Ray Knight, delighted to have this rookie of the Canadian Football League with the Argonauts with us. If you've seen enough American football, one of the things we keep hearing is the National Football League get a chance to make it in Canada. Will there be teams up here in that league?
I tell you what, if they ever had any idea of making any expansions, they could really do well if they ever brought a team up here. I'm telling you, they do well.
Do you find real good reception for football by the Canadian fans?
I tell you, it seems like they have the want to and the will to want to come out, but it's like being that it has been kind of dwindling in the last few years, people are kind of apprehensive to come out to the games, but they're starting to more and more get into the spirit and finding out that this is going to be something that's going to really work out for them. So.
Well, Bruce McNall, Wayne Gretzky, and John Candy certainly did a heck of a job getting you up here. It's made a real difference nationally for the attention that's been drawn. All 3 of them, of course, owners with the Argonauts, and all were here for last night's game, in fact. Pitch is taken away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boddicker working to the number 9 hitter here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Manuel, don't call me Manny Lee. 4-2 ball game with the Jays on top. We've already had 6 runs and 8 hits in this game, and we're only in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Boddicker. That one's laced into center field. Nobody can get the leadoff man out. And Lee is on with a leadoff single here in the 2nd inning. So we've had all 4 leadoff batters on and all 4 halves of the inning. Coming up in the 2nd half of our Friday night doubleheader, those New York Mets are on the West Coast playing the San Diego Padres. Howard Johnson, 22 home runs, 70 RBIs, and Tony Gwynn leads the National League with a .335 batting average. Steve Physiog, Dave Campbell standing by. That'll be the 2nd half of our doubleheader. Rocket, anything you like there we just talked about?
I like that combination.
You like those Mets. Go ahead and say it. It's all right. Hey, when you cheer for a team, you cheer for a team. That's all there is to it. You can have a second love, too, and that'll be the Toronto Blue Jays. Runner on at first base. Nobody out, and White, who singled his first time up and scored, standing in. Lee being held. Boy, it's a night like this is great. You can open the dome. You don't waste a beautiful evening. And that ball misses away. There it be. Some of the fans behind home plate actually sit in the sunlight for the first part of the ball game before the sun sets down behind the stadium roof. 1-1. That misses away. 2-1. You probably remember Ray Knight playing for the New York Mets, don't you?
Heck yeah, man.
Were you there for the World Series in '86?
I wish I was,
yeah.
but I was there in spirit.
That's what I
watched it on television.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Tell the people where you grew up.
Well, I grew up 13 years of my life in Newark, New Jersey, and being so close to New York and all the action there, it's like you couldn't help but become a fan of the New York teams, you know. And then from there, I moved to Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre, where I live now.
So Scranton Wilkes-Barre's got a AAA ball club down there.
Yeah, the Barons, you know. Do all right.
2 ball, 2 strike count. We'll just breathe for a minute, Ray, before we have our next hit. Mamma mia. What is this? 2-2 delivery, and Boddicker misses away, and he's gone full 3-2.
Well, we talked about at the start of the telecast that if Boddicker and Key were not on with their command, that there would be a lot of balls hit all over the ballpark, and we've seen that.
Close.
Mike normally gets that changeup over at any time in the count and able to throw the curveball for a strike. 2-0, 3-1. Tonight, when he's gone to the breaking ball, he's missed with it. Had to throw the fastball, and that fastball is getting raked.
3 ball, 2 strike count. Runner goes. Swung on, grounded back. Boddicker to second. Didn't get he will get it at first. Good relay by Shumpert, who got over to cover second base. That's the tough way to get an out at first. Runner going, he's safe.
Mike Boddicker, the Gold Glove winner last year, best fielding pitcher in the American League, shows you why. He knows the ball hit this hard. He goes to second base quickly. He's got a chance for two because he knows he can get Devon White at first base. Manny Lee hustling all the way. Shumpert receiving the ball a little late. Presence of mind throwing off balance. Able to get him at first base.
Well, that's one way to get the runner up. Now Alomar's got a runner at second base. That's a tough pivot for a second baseman. He couldn't get a lot on the throw, but he did a good job to try and make the play and then to get the out at first. Alomar singled and scored in the first inning. Alomar rips that one to left center field. Goodwood way back, maybe room off the wall. Runner held between bases. He'll make the turn and score. It'll be a double, and it is a 5-2 Jays lead.
Another fastball, you see it right about belt high, right down the middle. Alomar going with it. Thurman, known for his defensive ability, normally plays center field. Really has no chances. That ball hits about 7 feet up on the wall and bounds back toward the infield with Mick Frake fielding the ball. Manny Lee, halfway, reading the ball over the outfielder's head and easily makes it home.
So Alomar gets an RBI and is league-leading 31st, a double while McRae's out. Let's check in with Gary Miller.
Gary, Budweiser takes you to Cleveland, where Denny Boucher and the Indians are unraveling. Harold Reynolds, did ya? Fan, shame on you. As he takes away extra bases, fan interference takes out a cigar and a chance for the fielder to make the play. Martinez knocked in Reynolds as well. Already 8 hits, and it's only the third. It's 4-1.
Thank you, Gary. Boddicker has had his discussion. Lee singled. He scores on the double by Alomar. It is now a 5-2 lead for the Jays. They have 7 hits. 1 down, a runner at second base, just the bottom half of the second inning. Pickoff again at second. Shumpert taking the throw. He threw 37 pitches in the first inning of this game. It's almost 3 innings worth, 2.5 innings worth. See what Carter has done versus righties lefties. Boddicker. Breaking ball to Carter. He got him on an off-speed pitch, striking him out. The only strikeout Boddicker has in the ball game. That came in the first inning.
Mentioned the 37 pitches, add 13 of that, already 50 pitches with 1 out in the second inning.
And now he's piling up throws to second and first base. Rocket, give us an idea of the plans for the future for you. I mean, I know the rookie season, but where do you see this career going that you've got in front of you?
Well, hopefully it can go on to bring some serious excitement and interest into the Canadian Football League and the Argonauts. And from there, it's kind of up in the air, you know. But I see I'll be here for at least 4 years.
Off-season work for you? What do they have in store for you?
Well, actually, in January, I have to go back to school. So for the next 2 off seasons, I'll be at Notre Dame taking classes, finishing up my degree.
Not the worst place to be in the world?
Nope, not at all.
1-1. Another off-speed pitch, and that one is taken. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Do you favor the football move for the Bulls to have a national championship game?
Well, the way things turned out last year, it seems that that'd probably be the best thing as far as playoffs are concerned. But it's for players, we always just feel that the less games played, the better.
Play made by Howard, and that will get Carter, who's now 0 for 2. The less games played, the better. Less chance of getting beat up, run over, mauled.
The Canadian League, when is it over?
I believe the Grey Cup game is played on November 27th or somewhere around there.
So you will get to see Notre Dame football this year.
Exactly.
Was it a clip?
Hey, man, I'm not answering that question.
2 down, and it's fouled back by Olerud. You learn quick. You're going to be good at this. 0-1 the count. Olerud popped out his first time up. He's got a runner at third base right now. He had Alomar with 2 down. That one to first. That is a what? Foul ball. Ooh. Dave Phillips took a long look at home plate umpire John Hirschbeck to decide who was going to make that call, and Cito Gaston is concerned. The home plate umpire makes the call until it gets to the bag. Once it's by the bag, it's the first base umpire's call.
Well, you see the ball bounding inside the line, then right on the line. The umpire sees it hit about 4 or 5 inches past the bag, foul. But like you say, Gary, if the ball hits any portion of that bag or passes over any portion of that bag after hitting in fair territory, it's a fair ball.
And that's what we're talking about here now, is who made this ruling. Because Cito Gaston saying that was the home plate umpire's call, that he should have made a ruling on whether it went over the bag. And I think Phillips at first felt the same thing. He did not make the call until he realized the home plate umpire was not going to call it.
A lot of times when an umpire is trying to get out of the way of a ball, as Davey Phillips was there, he doesn't see the ball well, and he defers to the home plate umpire.
That's what this discussion's all about. There's not much Phillips can say. When the home plate umpire didn't make a call, John Hirschbeck, somebody had to, and that was him. So he did. This is one of those where the umpires will go back and look at a tape on this after the game, as they do in so many. They review every game, calls made and not made, to improve their performance. To their credit, they always do. That's a tough one. There was no heated discussion. So Olerud on the foul ball has an 0-2 count with 2 down. Runner at third, and he goes to short with this one. Howard's got it. Makes the play, and that'll do it. Rocket Ismail, thanks for joining us, and have a great year. Huh?
Thank you very much. I enjoyed myself.
We really enjoyed having him with us. And it is a 5-2 Blue Jays lead.
More in the third inning. They're also 5 games behind the Minnesota Twins, so they've tried to shore things up. They've traded for Brooke Jacoby of the Indians for a pair of Double-A minor leaguers. Chili Davis has homered for the Twins tonight. They have a 1-0 lead on Milwaukee as they try to maintain their advantage. We'll be showing you highlights throughout the evening. Right now, let's go back to Skydome with Gary and Ray.
Thank you, Gary. We've got a 5-2 ball game. We've played just 2 innings here. We've already picked up 7 runs, 10 hits. These kind of games, though, sometimes it stops right there. We'll see. Brett, what's he talking about? Home plate umpire having a discussion. Here you see the numbers for George, which have picked up. He had an RBI sac fly his first time up. And Brett rips that to left center field. Ducey and White. It'll be Ducey on the warning track to haul it in. One away.
John Olerud hitting the ball down the first base line. Last inning. Here you see the ball hit fair, and then just barely on the edge of the bag, you see Davey Phillips moving out of the way. But even from that angle, it's difficult because it's in center field. But the ball only hit about 3 inches foul, about 15, 20 feet behind the bag. So Cito Gaston does have a beat. That ball was very close.
Real tough call for both umpires on that one. Now, the first time the leadoff man's been retired, as Carnival with 1 down swings through the fastball, and the count is 0-2 on Danny Tarnable. 9-game hit streak for him, tough against southpaws and the right-handers. Oh, what a great pitch by Jimmy K.
Well, I don't care how strong you are, you throw this change up on the outside part of the plate that moves like that. That's that screwball type change. Tarnable going out, always full bore. Doesn't protect the plate much, but that is a nasty pitch. That change up that looks like a screwball.
So Jimmy Key trying to settle in, can have a 1-2-3 inning. 2 down, nobody on. Todd Benzinger, who popped out his first time up. foul back. Does Rocket Ismail have a personality or what?
Oh, he really is a nice man, isn't he?
What a great kid.
It's amazing how some personalities just grab you. When I first saw him play in his first interview, he's just such a nice man, genuinely nice.
One of those guys who just kind of bursts out of him, sunlight coming out of his face. Obviously, he just loves what he's doing and the chance, and boy, do they love having him there. He may be the salvation for the Canadian Football League. 5-2, Toronto lead. Jimmy Key missing inside with it, 2-2.
Well, you talk about special talent. I remember O.J. Simpson in college football and Herschel Walker when he was at Georgia.
Short hop. Kelly Gruber makes the nice play at third base. Little help from John O'Rourke. Benzinger retired. 1-2-3 inning for Jimmy Key. And the Jays are up by 3. Everybody was a kung fu fighting. Oh,
Yeah.
this has nothing to do with the sumo. Live from Tokyo on ESPN, an NFL special. Dan Marino, Howie Long, the Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann are going to be there. It's August 3rd, Saturday at 10 p.m. live from Tokyo right here on ESPN. So mark that one down. Kelly Gruber lines up to short. And on one pitch, there is one out here in the bottom half of the third inning as Howard hauled that one in. Ray, while we were looking at the shortstop there, Howard's one of the youngsters on this being rebuilt Kansas City team.
He really is. You look at Kurt Stillwell. Stillwell only 25 years old, but Howard now playing shortstop. They feel that Stillwell, better offensive player, but that he's really not a AstroTurf player. In third base, Bill Pacoda playing over there now for Kevin Seitzer, who a lot of rumors talking about possibly going to Pittsburgh with Jeff King on the shelf. But good young talent in this Kansas City ball club with Howard, Pacoda, Shumpert at second base coming on, McRae in center field.
Boy, they are young. When you look at that lineup in that way, they've really made that turn coming off season last year in which they went 75 and 86. And now the veterans, well, they may be out of there. They may not get those jobs back again. Outside to Rance Mullenix, 1-2.
Well, it's really unusual that a guy that's 29 years old has had the success of Kevin Seitzer is out of a lineup. And then you look at Kurt Stillwell, who was voted by the American League managers the best throwing arm in the American League for an infielder. 250 hitter lifetime, just 26 years old, and it's amazing that a team with this type of caliber players did not trade their younger players. Normally they trade their younger players for veteran pitchers or the like, but in this case Kansas City has chosen to go the route of getting rid of the older players, or at least benching them. And talking to Seitzer, he believes a lot of it is monetary after making the big play last year monetarily to get the Storm Davises and the Mark Davises. He just doesn't feel that they have enough money to warrant keeping him, so they're going to move him on.
Jim Spear, rookie catcher, working. 2-2 pitch. Mullenix to first. Todd Benzinger will take it to the bag. Well, you talk about the Davises, Ray. How about that whole situation with Storm and Mark Davis?
Well, Mark Davis now in AAA. He's actually, they have him down there. They say rehabilitating him. He's had a couple balls off his fingers, balls hit back up the middle. Storm Davis now in the bullpen has done real well the last 4 or 5 outings, pitching a couple of innings, but really one of those deals at $4 or $5 million worth a year.
And Mark Davis, they even went out and got his former pitching coach from San Diego and brought him over here in hopes of helping his psyche. That doesn't work. 2 down, 0-1 count here, and Ducey hits that one towards the hole. That'll be a base hit. The old seeing eye single right there, and Ducey's 2 for 2, Gary Miller.
I told you about Chili Davis's home run, but that's routine. He's got 22 of those now. The Twins led 1-0. Check this out. Ken Herbeck going, and so is Greg Vaughn after it. Oh, overran it, but no, what a grab. The juggling hack for the 3rd out. Spectacular play, but the Twins lead 1-0. Back to Skydome.
Minnesota's making believers out of lots of people right now. Runner at first base, 2 down. Ducey's the base runner. Pat Borders at the plate in this 5-2 ball game with the Blue Jays leading. Boddicker has given up 8 hits now, 5 runs on 8 hits, all earned. And Borders tied up by a fastball that time, 0-1.
I definitely think that Minnesota team's for real. They've added Chili Davis, who's coming there with tremendous shape. Chuck Knobloch, leading candidate for Rookie of the Year at second base. And Jack Morris winning 12-13 games for them already.
Runner going, won't make any difference here. Plays made by Pacoda. Borders is retired. 1 down, 1 hit, and 1 left on. And it's a 5-2 Blue Jays lead.
According to the
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by the great taste of Diet Pepsi. You got the right one, baby. By Hershey syrup with genuine chocolate flavor. Hershey, the chocolate people. And by Red Devil oil enamel for the finish of a lifetime.
Now, the Gargoyles of Toronto you saw there. Some great architectural work was done. It's called The Audience. There are 2 sets of them outside of the Skydome. I suspect they're becoming as much photographed as Mickey in Disneyland. And yet another base hit. Bill Pacoda for the Kansas City Royals delivers a leadoff single. That's twice he's done that. He had a leadoff single in the second. He gets a leadoff single here in the fourth. And Jimmy Key continues to have troubles here, even retiring the side 1-2-3 last inning. Sunday night, White Sox, Red Sox will get it on at Fenway Park. As you will see a couple of ball clubs battling to get to the top. Red Sox have got to get some wins in a hurry. The White Sox are right there. John Miller, Joe Morgan will have it Sunday at 8 right here on ESPN. We are up now to 8 hits for the Jays and 4 for the Royals in this 5-2 game with the Jays leading. The Royals have just been smacking the baseball around of late. Really incredible numbers as far as their batting average and runs scored are concerned. Now one taken inside. They have picked up 33 runs in their last 4 games, not including the ball game here tonight. And a 2-out victory, as we mentioned yesterday, against Milwaukee. But the offense has come alive. See whether or not they can continue it. They've averaged over 11 hits per game the last 18 games. And a lot of those are extra base hits.
And a lot of that is because of that man there, Hal McRae. Outstanding hitter in his own right. Adrian Garrett, the hitting instructor for Kansas City, but he also coaches third base. These hitters told me before the game that Hal offers some positive reinforcement.
Spear hits that to dead center field. White backing up. 390-foot fly ball rather. Runner will tag and go. Pacoda. Yes. Gets into second base. Good base running by Pacoda as Tim Spears retired on the long fly ball to center.
Well, Seitzer went out with an injury to his wrist. Pacoda going in and playing third base extremely well, showing you a great baseball sense there, tagging up on a ball deep. When you're 3 runs down, you take them 1 base at a time, knowing if the ball goes over the center fielder's head, he'll be standing up on third base.
Terry Shumpert with 1 down and a runner at second base. 24-year-old second baseman. 1 for his last 27. And the breaking ball by Jimmy Key misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Terry Shumpert had been pulling off the ball all year, moved him off the plate, trying to get him to go into the ball with his left shoulder to try to hit the ball up the middle into right field. Not real strong. Want him to hit down on the baseball and hit the ball the other way. You see how far he is off the plate there. But what happens, a guy like Jimmy Key can just pound the ball in on you consistently, make it very hard to hit the ball the opposite way.
Key, that one buckled in the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch, and it'll move the runner up to third base. So Pacoda goes to third on the wild pitch delivered by Jim Key.
Pat Borders wants the ball inside. Key comes inside, and I think Borders gets blinded by Shumpert's knee. Sees buckle his knee back there, and I just think Pat Borders lost sight of that baseball.
And I apologize. It's a pass ball. So one they felt could have been handled. So Jimmy Key does not get the wild pitch. Runner at third base, Pacoda, on a pass ball with one out. And Shumpert takes the count full on the swinging strike. The Kansas City Royals numbers, they are now overall third in the league in average, fourth in runs, seventh in home runs. They don't pick up many walks. They're 11th in the league in walks. Slugging percentage is fifth, and the on-base percentage seventh, and there's a big hit. That's getting it done right there. 3-2 count, one out. And Shumpert, who has been struggling, picks up an RBI single to make this a 5-3 ball game. Gary?
Gary, let's take it to Minnesota, where Kirby Puckett, the American League batting leader, taking over for Cal Ripken this week, and he singles to extend his hitting streak to 16 games now. A sharp single off Fazio. The Twins had the 1-0 lead. Puckett came into the night hitting .335. Back to Skydome.
Galen Cisco, the pitching coach, is out now to talk with Borders and Key.
Shumpert, look how he works his hand, uses his hands, drops his hands inside. That ball's down and in. Trying to hit the ball up the middle, just does it and serves it right back up the middle. Watch him here. Watch how his hands drop in the slot there, and he inside outs the ball. Hits it right back up the middle. Kept his left side in there perfectly then. I know Hal McRae's going to be real happy about that on the video camera.
Ray, that's a great shot. Credit the camera crew that works upstairs here at the very top of the dome. That's from the roof where they get that shot down. It's the dome's version of the blimp. Works pretty good. Look at that batting average as runners in scoring position. There's the crew of one. That is hazardous pay duty right there. It's right where that dome closes. And it is fouled off by David Howard, who flied out his first time up. So we've got a 5-3 ball game. In the top half of the fourth inning, a run in, Pacoda scoring. The pass ball helping out a bit, moving him up to third base. And then Shumpert picking up the RBI. He will make the move over to first base. Shumpert now has 25 runs batted in. Brett had an RBI in the first inning. Gary Thurman an RBI single in the second, and Shumpert with the RBI in the fourth. And there he be at first. Off-speed pitch is fouled back. 0-2. One away. RBIs for Toronto. They got 4 runs in the first inning, 2 for Gruber, 1 for Mullenix, 1 for Ducey. Second inning, Alomar had an RBI double. And Cito's got 5 runs and is mighty worried. McRae's got 3 and knows he's not out of it. 0-2 delivery. Down low to Howard. 1-2.
Well, you're right. This Kansas City team can generate some offense. They've done it all year, actually scoring 60 more runs than the Blue Jays this year. Blue Jays leading the league because of their great pitching. #1 pitching staff in the American League. Thurman on deck.
Fouled off outside of third base. Count holds 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is a night where the concession stands are going to do very well. Have you eaten those little donuts they make here?
I haven't.
Man, they have a little donut machine as one of the concessions. That's all it is. And they make them right there. They have the dough that's poured in, goes down under this little conveyor belt into the fat, fried up, spilled out. And they're great. You buy them, you can buy, I wish you can buy 6 or 12 or 36.
You ought to know something like
When I was here at the All-Star game, I perused the concession stands and found the donut machine. They put them in a little bag, dump sugar in there, shake it up, and that was a happy little camper.
So they're powdered donuts, not glazed.
No, not glazed, powdered, yeah. Sky Snacks.
I don't see donuts.
Well, not right there. It has its own stand. It's down the hall a little bit. We'll find it, though. 2-2 the count, 1 out. I normally don't eat that kind of food, as you know, Ray.
Yeah, I know so well.
Key working to David Howard. There goes the base runner. Off the glove. Stolen base. So Shumpert is on. Borders tried to come up with that baseball before he had it because Shumpert had a big jump, his 14th stolen base in 20 chances.
Just a fastball. I don't know what's happening here with Pat Borders. A lot of times when you're not swinging the bat offensively, you play better defensively, but Pat Borders just blinking on a couple of pitches back there that he should have come up with.
Doesn't look like he's seeing the ball very well. 3-2 count, 1 out, foul back. As far as these two ball clubs are concerned in running in the league, for the Kansas City Royals, they come into tonight's ball game 4th in stolen bases. The Toronto Blue Jays are 1st. Mentioned how Ricky Henderson's not picking up as many stolen bases as usual, and that has dropped the Oakland A's stolen base numbers down to 2nd as a team. 3-2 again.
Jerry, I like this Kansas City ball club. If they had gotten any pitching last year, they started the season people thinking they were going to be the best pitching staff in baseball. But Gubazal was hurt. Saberhagen had his shoulder tendonitis. Gordon's been very inconsistent. Julio Aquino has done outstanding the last 4 or 5 starts. Kevin Napier has done about what they expected of him, but you throw Boddicker in there this year and then Storm Davis, this team has the capabilities of having an outstanding staff, just a lot of people being hurt.
Trying to put it together here on this road trip, in fact. 5-3 lead here at the Dome. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight. First of our doubleheader here on ESPN on this Friday night. It has been an offensive attack thus far. Howard working again on the 3-2, and for the 4th time, fouls a 3-2 pitch off. David Howard, this is called getting airtime.
It certainly is, and for Jimmy Key settling down, he's made 4 pitches. He's thrown a breaking ball, a fastball that rode up in the strike zone, a sinker, and then a changeup. 4 different pitches, 3 and 2, all of them for strikes.
Howard has started 13 of the last 15 games at shortstop. 24-year-old out of Sarasota, Florida, born there, lives there now. And he drills it to left field. Way back, Ducey at the wall. Goodbye, home run. A 2-run shot by David Howard. And this game is tied. That is his first major league home run. In fact, his first extra base hit in the majors.
When you battle pitch after pitch after pitch, this is what happens. Fastball inside corner. By this time, I mentioned the 4 pitches that he had seen prior to that. Just drives the ball up there deep in the outfield. As my buddy Chris Berman will say, deep. Jimmy, after making 4 good pitches, just gets one right over the inside part of the plate, and that's what happens.
Pop up, right side, second base. Gary Thurman retired as Alomar hauls it in, 2 down. Let's check in with Gary Miller.
Taking to Busch Stadium where the Red struggles continue. Todd Zeal batting with Ray Langford aboard. Singles to left field. Langford comes flying home. They also scored in a bases-loaded walk. As Gilkey scored, Langford had the bases-loaded walk, and it's 2-0 as they play the 2nd. Let's go to Skydome.
And there is Bob McDonald warming up in the bullpen. We've seen a Jimmy Key we're unaccustomed to seeing. He's walked 2 batters in this game. He doesn't walk anybody. He's given up a home run. He's only given up 6 all year, but 3 of them in his last 2 starts. He gave up 2 home runs in his last start against Texas, and now a home run here. And Key, who had himself a 4-1 and a 5-2 lead at different times, is now in a tie ball game. You see the numbers have jumped. And he misses inside of McRae.
Gary, what happened to Jimmy Key the last at bat with Howard? Here's a man hitting 158, just 35 major league games under his belt. Jimmy Key makes 4 pitches on him, goes 3 and 2, and then he just takes a little bit for granted. Tries to throw a strike. Not giving the man credit, but that's what happens. You see Warren Cromartie there. They said, hey, boy, too long.
Rookie's loving it. Fouled off by McRae. Our line score now 5-8-0 for the Jays, 5-5-1 for the Royals.
That's why it's so difficult to be a success in the major league level, Kevin Seitzer. Concentration all the time. You can't lose it for one pitch.
That one to right field. Carter. And that'll take care of McRae in Kansas City, but not before. In the fourth inning, they pick up 3 runs, 3 hits. Home run by Howard, the big blow. There is Warren Cromartie. He is back from Japan, where he became one of the most popular Americans ever to play ball in Japan. He hit a lot of home runs, had a good average. 89 won the MVP batting title, Japanese World Series with the Yomiuri Giants. They loved him so much there, they wanted to get him to do the bonsai. That one is taken up high. He used to go out in the outfield and get the fans going, raising his hands up in the air, and the fans would all follow him. They absolutely loved him over there. Sadahara Oh, the great home run hitter, was his manager. Liked him so much that he named the son after Sadahara Oh, in fact. But now Warren Cromartie's back. There's the bonsai right there. Look at this. Talk about power. Do his teammates like Warren Cromartie?
Does he like it or what?
Man, that's not bad. And sushi to boot. Fouled off by Lee. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 5-5 ball game. He didn't have those little donuts over there. Told you we'd find it. See that machine right out there?
Yeah, producer, director, somehow found that donut hole that he talks about.
Donut hole, I like that. Nice name for the concession. Lee waiting. He's been fooled by a couple of pitches here. Has been able to fight him off as Bonaker's ahead on the count, ball, 2 strikes, and he's back in the game.
Well, Mike Bonaker will never stop battling you.
1-2 delivery. Off-speed pitch again. Holds the count at a ball, 2 strikes.
Always keeps you in a ball game. Won 20 games for the Baltimore Orioles back in 1984. World Series hero for them. Last year, won 17 games.
Boy, of late, Ray, he has an ERA of 7.88 in his last 3 starts, and it isn't being helped much here tonight.
We talked about that before the game. He just said he's not getting his changeup and breaking ball over. And he has to do that. When Mike has to throw his fastball for strikes, when he's behind the count, people are going to hit him hard because it's almost like a BP fastball. 84, 85 mile an hour. When he follows the fastball with slow breaking balls and that drop down frisbee that he calls it, it's very difficult to hit his fastball.
Lee to third. Dakota with a pick. That'll take care of Lee. 1 down here in the 4th inning for the Jays. I saw one number the Elias baseball analyst had that I had to read about 4 times on Bonaker. During the 2.5 seasons that he played with the Red Sox, he had a better winning percentage than Roger Clemens.
Oh, man, I don't realize that.
I mean, not by much, but I mean, by anything is a heck of a story.
Well, looking back, he was 32-19. That's pretty good in anybody's book.
Sure is. Strike on the outside corner. 1 down, nobody on. White up, singled and scored in the 1st inning. Not had much success against Monsieur Bonaker. 1-1.
A little bit more about Mike Gary. This is his 8 straight seasons he's won in double figures, never winning less than 10 games.
Foul ball off his foot.
Very consistent. Mentioned 17 games last year, 15-89, 13-88, then a low of 10 in 87, then an average of 15 a game the 4 prior years with a high of 20 in 1984. Also led the American League, 2.79 earned run average in 84.
McRae's now out talking to Hirschbeck just about where that ball went. Let him cast a little smile back there at White. White knew it hit his foot because it hurt. He's still in the back of his box.
That's pretty brilliant.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery. Just missed. 2-2.
I don't know what Rocket did to you, but Got you flying.
I think it's those donuts. I've been drinking the coffee now, but I just had a bag of those donuts. Off-speed pitch. Center field. Two down here in the fourth inning. Second half of our doubleheader. The New York Mets and the West Coast San Diego Padres will be the opposition tonight. Steve Physioc, Dave Campbell are standing by to bring you that one right after we complete our ball game here in Toronto. Howard Johnson having a magnificent MVP-type season. And Tony Gwynn, maybe another batting title. He's on top of the National League, hitting .335. They'll be there. Mets and Padres are next. Two down, nobody on. 5-5 game. And a strike taken by Alomar, who's already had a big night. 2 for 2, double, single, run scored, RBI. Somebody call off the pitcher. First baseman. That'll take care of it. Todd Benzinger moved in to make the play. And a 1-2-3 inning for Boddicker, who could just settle in and have himself a good game yet. Inside the Dome in Toronto, Gary Thorne, Ray Knight. Delighted to have you join us here at a 5-5 ball game. Far from over. Boddicker and Key still out there, even though they've both been jammed around. Jimmy Key to Brett, who had an RBI and a sac fly, officially 0 for 1 at the plate in this ball game.
Well, not only is the game tied 5-5, Jimmy Key, 80 pitches, 53 strikes, 27 balls.
Second base, Salomar. Ooh, on away to Gary Miller.
Gary, the Pirates have a 6-game lead in the East, but check this out. Bob Walk huffing and puffing after he had doubled in a run, trying to score on a single by Merced, and what was comical turns painful. A knee injury. Walk gamely gets in and scores the 3rd run, but he had to leave the game with that knee injury and turns over a 3-0 lead to Neil Heaton at the Astrodome. Back to Skydome.
Well, we certainly hope that's not going to be a serious injury to Bob Walk. Danny Tartabull. 1 down, nobody on. Tartabull with his 9-game hit streak, heading for the top, trying to pass Kirby Puckett. It is a tight race for the batting crown in the American League. Puckett at .335, Tartabull .333, Ripken .332, Palmero .330, Boggs .321, and it goes on like that. Towards second base. What a shift that was. Perfectly played by Alomar, who was playing behind the bag. 2 down. Todd Benzinger with 2 down and the bases empty. 0 for 2 for Benzinger in this game. Royals in away games this season have done pretty well. They're 23-19. Surprise is at home where they're 23-29. Team that won 45 games at home last season has not had the kind of success at home you've got to have in Major League Baseball to put the good numbers up. Benzinger delighted to be playing regularly now with Kansas City after riding the pine in Cincinnati. Still a star waiting to blossom. He's one of those players followed by the prospect tag for so many years. And now it starts to be with so many teams. Red Sox, Cincinnati, Kansas City. 1-2 by Key. Got that one in there. Left center field. Playable. Ducey. Well, both pitchers settle down as they retire the opposition in order. The last time out, we remain tied here at the Dome, 5-5. The Cleveland Indians for 6 seasons, then to San Diego, now back with Toronto. Any new adjustments?
The only adjustments I had to make was just familiarizing myself with the pitcher staff once again. You know, going to National League was tough for me because I knew none of the pitchers over there. But coming back to American League, only being gone for 1 year, it wasn't that big of an adjustment because I still keep my notes in my head about how teams pitch me, and they seem to follow the same pattern.
Gary, that's so true. After playing 11 years in the National League, went to the American League for a couple of years, and it was very difficult for me. You have to know pitchers, and in the National League, after seeing guys for 10 or 11 years, 4 times a season, you get to know them very well. American League is much more breaking ball league, though. A lot more split fingers and change-up type pitches.
Oh, what I found. Nice play made by Pacoda. That was a snapshot. Short hopper down to third base, and Carter's 0 for 3. Hit that one on the money. 1 down.
That's why Kevin Seitzer cannot get back in this lineup. He's healthy. He's been third baseman for the Kansas City Royals for the last 4 seasons, but Pacoda, 31 years old, spent 8 years in the minor leagues. Done a tremendous job. This is just a reflex play here. Gets down, eyes right on the baseball. That's a tough play. That's a lot tougher play than it looks. Comes up, crow hop, strong arm. Good throw to first.
John Olerud, first ball to left field. Thurman had to back up on it as that one carried pretty well. And Boddicker gets his second out as Boddiker's now retired 6 in a row. 2 hard hit balls, but as they say, right at somebody.
Gary looking up, talking to McRae. Remember the fly ball was center field, Gary, that you alluded to earlier that McRae may have or should have caught possibly. Looks like you're discussing the visibility out there.
Ask them about that after this game, see what the problem is with that. Stands, of course, go way up here at the Dome, so you are almost always looking into people, seeing the ball coming out of shirts.
And also, Gary, where that dome tucks in behind us is white. There's almost a white Astrodome type look. Remember how tough it was to see the ball in the glass of the Astrodome. On a high fly ball to center field, you're looking at the white roof here. If the ball gets real high, it may be tough to pick up.
See how high the seats are here. Virtually, there are 5 levels. Folks are up there. Kelly Gruber, 3 ball, 1 strike count, 2 down, a 5-5 ball game. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning with 2 away. Gruber hoping he can stay healthy. And he'll draw the walk. First given up by Boddicker, who has 1 strikeout and now 1 free pass. It's only 37 walks in 100 and 18 innings for Boddicker. Kansas City gets back on the winning side of it. Get above that 500 mark. We're working that way, but it's going to be tough here in this series. 2 down, runner at first base. Boddicker will make the throw over. Working as the designated hitter in tonight's game, had a single in the first inning, 4 runs, 4 hits in the first inning for Toronto. Mullenix grounded out in the 3rd, and will take that delivery inside. Well, these hitters know, seen these pitchers before anyway, but in tonight's game, they've seen so many pitches. They've seen everything already 3 or 4 times. Toronto Blue Jay team that we mentioned hits so well here and scores so many runs here. Here goes the base runner right at the second baseman, Shumpert. Look at first, and that'll take care of Mullenix and take care of Toronto. No runs, no hits, and a base runner left on. 4 left on by the Jays in this 5-5 game. 5 the score, and Jimmy Key ready to go. The off-speed breaking ball as we go to the 6th inning. He has a strikeout and 2 walks. Gave up a 2-run homer to David Howard in the 4th inning that tied the ball game up. Now given up 6 on the season. Dakota. A couple of very strong months right there, and much of that since he has started at 3rd. Right side of the infield, second base, Alomar. Dakota's retired, 1 away. Will Yogi Berra return to Yankee Stadium tomorrow? Baseball fans, keep an eye on it. It's Yankee Old Timers Day. I mention that only because it's one of my favorite days in baseball, and I've been a Red Sox fan all my life, but boy, there was something about an Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. And what a special one it is this year. DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, 35th anniversary of Larson's perfect game, and the 30th anniversary of Roger Maris's big home run season. Ducey, no. Yogi Berra said, "I'll never return as long as George Steinbrenner's involved in running the club." And he has not said publicly whether he's going to show up tomorrow or not, but I have a feeling Yogi's going to be there.
Well, I hope he's there. He's synonymous with the Yankees. You cannot think about a great Yankee unless you think about the Yog. And I saw him last month at the Mets old-timer game back in Shea. Actually managed the Met club.
He hasn't been back there since 1985, Yankee Stadium. What a wonderful man. That one taken for a strike. And those Yankees, tell you, they're trying to play 500 baseball this season. They've got an exciting young team. There you see what the current standings are coming into today's play. 0-2 delivery to Spear. Yow. So Jimmy Key will put him on with one down here in the 6th.
Jimmy Key just trying to bust him inside, and he certainly does that. Fastball right under the armpit. Spear glances out at him. You see Border setting up inside, and Jimmy having that great command, trying to get it, make sure he gets it inside after Spear hit that ball 325 feet down the left field line in the prior pitch.
So Spear gets hit by a pitch for the first time, and the speedster bunting it foul. Terry Shumpert. Strike one. And that only one hit in 27 at-bats when he delivered an RBI single in the 4th inning. He struggled this season against Toronto. And so has everybody else on Kansas City's team. Toronto leading the series 6 games to 3. Kansas City hitting .218 against Toronto coming into this game. They've scored only 22 runs in 9 games against Kansas City. Right field, Carter. Shumpert becomes the second out. Spear back to first, and we go to Gary Miller.
Gary, the Reds' miseries are continuing at Busch. Chris Hammond knocked out after just 2 innings. This single by Bernard Gilkey is fumbled by Eric Davis. Jose Akendo scores. Zeal doubled in Gilkey. It's 4-0 as Armstrong's already on in relief. The Reds have lost 13 of 15.
What's going on right now?
I don't know what's going on. You started hearing all that bickering and complaining. I know the Rob Dibble situation doesn't help much. A lot of people starting to become divided on that issue. Guys starting to talk about him, backstabbing. But it's just, I don't know. Last year I thought they were as compatible, cohesive ball club as I've ever been around, but that's what winning does for you.
Pitch is taken outside by Howard, who had 12 singles at the major league level before his last at-bat when he delivered home run number 1. A 2-run shot that tied this game up. 5-5, top of the 6th. Jimmy Key missing outside. Ray, I'll tell you one thing that's happened there, talking with players in games we've done there. I don't say this negatively towards her, but Marge Schott is the owner, is throwing a lot of flack from the players. That's a growing menace over a long period of time about things that have happened there that the players are really upset about. 2-0 delivery. That one's fouled off.
Well, players don't like owners or even management that when things are going well, they do things for you. Then as soon as things turn around and start going poorly for you, struggle, then they turn their back on you. A lot of people think that Marge Schott is not real consistent. Remember the deal with Eric Davis, Todd Benzinger's deal, former Cincinnati Red, not being happy there. But Eric Davis not being flown home after the World Series. A lot of people thought that was the wrong thing to do. She eventually did pay for that flight, but not after causing Eric some grief.
And her GM this season reportedly had to go to the All-Star game and pay his own way, the general manager. And he did not deny it. He just refused comment. That one is popped up, third base. Gruber wants it in foul territory, and he will put it away. So Howard is retired. No run, a hit batter. 1 left on. We remain tied at 5-5. August of the season. Beautiful night here in Toronto. You look out at Lake Ontario and that shoreline here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Kansas City Royals coming in for this 3-game series as they'll be playing 9 games on the road in 10 days. Mike Boddicker hanging in this 5-5 game. He has walked 1, struck out 1. Walked a batter in the 5th, the first that he has walked. Hasn't given up a hit since the 3rd. Facing Ducey here, who picked up that single in the 3rd inning, the last hit off Boddicker. And he floats that one outside for a ball. Fouls that one back. Blue Jays, if they can win here at home, it'll be their 31st win of the season. We mentioned earlier they and Detroit won more games at home than any other team in the majors. Both have 30 wins. The Tigers battling in that Eastern Division. I love their numbers. Last in the league in batting. The Detroit Tigers. Does that make any difference? Not really. They're also producing the most runs. That's the home run ball, of course. They lead everybody in homers. 3-2 pitch. Center field. Good wood. Drives it deep. McRae's got room. Long fly ball out by Ducey. Gary?
Earlier we showed you Bob Walker get hurt and leaves the game, and talk about hurt. There Kyle goes at this towering blast by Bobby Bonilla, his 13th home run of the year, a 2-run shot. Walker's got a pulled right hamstring, and now Andy Van Slyke has left the game. We'll update you on that. It's 5-0 in the 3rd.
Pittsburgh really keeping the pressure on teams in that Eastern Division, especially the New York Mets, who are having some trouble on that West Coast trip. Pittsburgh tries to increase their lead. Strike 1 taken by Pat Borders. Borders has gone 0 for 2 in this ball game. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight on this first half of our doubleheader from the Dome. Take a look at the catcher. Boddicker certainly isn't tired. He's not wasting any time getting the ball back.
Always been a fast worker. His best fastball tonight, 85 miles an hour. Averaging about 82 miles an hour.
A couple of pitchers who go a little over the major league average in their starts as far as innings pitched. You baseball fans, this day and age, what would you think the average is for a starter? That one to right field on a broken bat, late start. It'll be hauled in by Tartable. The outfielders aren't having trouble picking it up.
Are you asking me that question?
You probably know.
Oh, I don't.
What would you think?
I would say 6 innings.
Yeah, 6-1 is the major league average for starting pitchers. And both of these pitchers, Boddicker and Key, have gone 6-2 this season, which is a little more than Jimmy Key did last season. He worked under 6 innings per start last year. 2 down here, nobody on in this 5-5 ball game. It'll bring up Lee, who had a single in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and he will step up.
In the 6th inning, 105 pitches. Really settled down after that first inning that he threw 37 pitches. Normally, throw 37 pitches, that takes a couple of innings off the end of the ball game. That gets you in that 6.5 inning situation for Mike Boddicker.
Manuel Lee takes the strike from Boddicker. 1-1, 2 down, bases empty.
Another thing too, Gary, when you're a control type pitcher as Key and Boddicker are, seldom do you get to go into 7th, 8th inning. When you start losing it and lose a little bit off that fastball, then you are in trouble. And another thing, you have a tough time controlling the breaking ball when you get tired, and the changeup. And when you can't throw the breaking ball and changeup for strikes, when you're not a power pitcher, they have to go to the bullpen.
Both managers want to give these starters a chance to win here, waiting for their teams to get a run. Won't be here, though, for the Blue Jays. That is Boddicker's 2nd strikeout as he gets Lee and retires the side in order here in the 6th inning.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by Miller High Life. Buy that man a Miller. Buy that fan a Miller. by Citibank, MasterCard, and Visa. Make sure your card says Citibank. And by Geno's, the pizza way to snack.
Back here at the Dome, Gary Thorne, Ray Knight at a 5-5 ball game. Jimmy Key is out of there. Bob McDonald has come on. Another left-hander to work in relief for Jimmy Key in tonight's game, and not a chance to win it.
Jimmy Key did an outstanding job. McDonald, 21 games, 6'2", 180 pounds, just 26 years old. It's a fastball that sinks and runs, a slider and a curveball.
Here's the performance by Jimmy Key, but it's an ND, non-decision.
Well, he got racked around the ballpark a little bit early, as Mike Boddicker did. Boddicker still with a chance for a decision.
And McDonald delivers a fastball on the outside corner, strike one. Gary Thurman doubled and scored in the first, singled in the second. He's had a 2-for-3 ball game, and you see his numbers on the season. McDonald is out of East Orange, New Jersey, born there, resides now in Toms River, New Jersey, went to Point Pleasant Beach High School there, and also attended Rutgers University, where he played his college baseball. He's been in the minor league organization since 1987, came up last year for Toronto for the first time and worked in 4 games. He has been here twice this season with the Toronto Blue Jays. And the fastball misses up high. He was recalled on June 2nd and staying with the club after previously having been here from April 23 to May 24. Alan Cisco, his pitching coach, getting another look at this 26-year-old left-hander. Slapped right back to him. We start the 7th inning. Gary Thurman bouncing back to the pitcher, 1 out. One down, base is empty. It will bring up McRae. He too has taken the caller.
Yeah, he has, Gary. McRae they project him to be a number 3 hitter. He has extra base power, runs pretty well, not afraid to drive in runs. The consensus is among scouts that he's a better hitter with runners in scoring position, and he seems to concentrate and bear down more. Hit number 2 now, and he'll be hitting there for a long time, as long as George Brett's around.
Will be doing that. Get a chance to use his speed a little bit there, a little hit and run action. He'll lay the ball down when he gets the opportunities. It's not those smiley stickers have gone out of style. He's got one right on his helmet. That one to right field. Carter got a good break on the ball, but not going to take a chance going to second base. McRae's going to take a chance. Carter got it in. The relay throw to first. He is gone. Lee took the throw and picks off McRae.
McRae just fights off the fastball, flips it out to right field, doing exactly what he's supposed to do, a lot like his father. Tremendous hustle. Carter coming up, wheeling and making a throw, blind to second. And again, Manny Lee turning the same way and making a perfect throw. Very aggressive McRae, but great defense there. Watch how Carter just whirls here and throws blind to second and throws a seed. One hot, Manny Lee makes a good play, whirls and nails it.
Nice play all around as Brett goes after the first pitch. Strike one. 9-6-3 on the putout. You see that tremendous arm of Carter. And McRae discovered about that great arm the hard way.
And Manny Lee took a big chance, and he side-swiped that ball, picked it on the short hop. If he misses that ball, it goes all the way to left field.
That's why Carter, because the game was close, didn't try and make a shoestring catch on that ball. He didn't want it to get around him because that would have potentially been an inside-the-park home run, so he wisely held up and played it on a hop. And Brett takes the pitch down low. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down, nobody on. He's got a helmet that looks like it belongs to Carlton Fisk. Pudge's helmet's always black with tar all over it. So is Brett's. have a habit of always touching the helmet.
Here, this is my all-time favorite hitter, George Brett, off the plate. Watch how he strides toward the ball. His shoulder right there, and he's able to take pitches away. Doesn't move too much with his hands, but my favorite hitter.
He certainly is one of the best in the history of the game. 2,778 career hits, 33rd. He's after George Sisler for 32nd place. 33rd in the all-time list in RBIs, over 1,400. Chasing Jim Rice for the next spot in that department. 3-2 delivery to him, and Brett fouls it back.
Well, he's done some phenomenal things in his career. He's led the league in average 3 times. He's led the league in hits 3 times, total bases 3 times, doubles twice, triples 3 times. Don't let this bog you mind now. On-base percentage 3 times and slugging percentage 3 times. Only Ty Cobb has ever led the league in so many different categories, different variety of categories. This man is just a tremendous player, power-wise, RBI-wise, average.
And he's on. As you said, he will take the pitch when necessary. McDonald gives up the walk. It comes with 2 down and makes that play ahead of it on the single by McRae being thrown out. Even more important. Runner on and 2 away. McDonald did not want to do that because now he's got to face Tartabull, number 4 hitter. Even though Tartabull here in this ball game has gone 0 for 2 in a walk, he is red hot in that .331 batting average and a 9-game hit streak. Takes the strike at the knees.
McDonald a little different than Jimmy Key. He pounds you with the fastball. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Throwing a changeup or some type of sinking ball away, looks like.
Nice changeup right there.
Danny shaking his head. No, he's not shaking his head about that changeup because he won't hit that one.
Brett at first base with 2 down. Tartabull hitting .298 off the lefties coming into this game. 0-2, a fastball away. Well, you can see why McDonald's here. He can throw strikes with that fastball and then come in with that off-speed pitch. Looks like the difference is about 15 or 20 miles an hour. That'll get you some outs. Tartabull with a 1-2. Evens the count, 2-2.
Jerry, I always thought that the harder you threw, the better off you are. Certainly, if you don't have control, that's the case. But seemingly nowadays, the pitchers that are really effective, especially left-handers, are guys that throw a lot of off-speed stuff. Sink the ball, keep it down in the strike zone. I don't care how hard you throw that fastball. If you throw it over the middle of the plate, they're going to hit it.
2-2 delivery. Tartabull fights it back. We've got him throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball and a 73-mile-an-hour off-speed breaking ball. That's a very nice differential from his perspective. Benzinger waiting on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Game tied 5-5. Top half of the 7th inning. The big house at the Dome. Spot back again. Tartabull, even though he is the free swinger, he'll foul off a lot of pitches. He's able to get out over the plate.
You're going to see, watch how he cocks himself, and he gets everything going. Now, this is 2-strike swing. That's a 2-strike swing, but what? He just lets everything go. Right on the barrel of the bat. Very pretty right-handed swing. Powerful.
Powerful. Got him. There's the off-speed pitch. So Tartabull becomes the first strikeout victim of McDonald. From the Dome, it's 7th inning stretch time.
Toronto and the Twins came into the evening with the best records in the American League. Minnesota gave Kevin Tapani a 2-0 lead. He had the shutout until Darrell Hamilton hits this ball that gets past Al Newman and skids all the way to the baggie. Molitor a double and a run. Hamilton comes to 3rd on the oop by Newman and later scored. Milwaukee has the 3-2 lead. Let's go to the Skydome.
Watch out for that baggie. Bottom half of the 7th inning, 5-5 ball game. Bodeker's settled in, retired 12 of the last 14 he's faced. They got 4 runs off him in the first, 1 in the second. He's given up only 1 hit and walked a batter since then. So he's really settled into this ball game. Jays out hitting the Royals 8-7. Jimmy Key gone. 6 innings, 5 runs, 6 hits, and Boddicker floats the butterfly in on White. Got his hit in his first at bat. White, Alomar, and Carter. And Devon White takes another off-speed pitch for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on it. He's had a rejuvenated season here with the Toronto Blue Jays. He's an all-star center fielder. Suddenly found himself back at the minor leagues a couple of years later. Now has found a new home. I believe in the California Angels, and the bat's come alive again. 2-2 delivery to him. Breaking ball fouled off. They are averaging 48,747 here at the Dome. Nobody's doing better. Even the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are averaging 41,917. Check swing, foul ball. They've already broken another record. They've reached the 2 million mark earlier than any team in Major League history. Look at these numbers. You talk about a money machine. Open those gates and sends out all Canadian dollars. 2-2 delivery. Got him. White didn't think so, but Boddicker's got his 3rd strikeout. He struck out 2 in a row now. He got Lee in a called 3rd strike to end the 6th. And he gets White here in the 7th.
Well, we've talked about location and control. Look at this ball. Ball moves a little away. We've got a little slight angle, but too close to take. You have to be able to foul those pitches off. Devon started to the ball, decided it was away. Oh, shoot.
Oh, gosh. Alomar takes the strike. Will those expansion teams be able to draw anything like this? Miami and Denver. They're certainly hoping that'll be the case. We will see when they get into play. Denver put out some interesting numbers. The ball's supposed to travel 10% further in that mile-high altitude in Denver, so these are the proposed dimensions for the new Colorado Rockies. We'll put those up there again for you. This looks like a mighty long poke, but what they're trying to do, they're trying to make the dimensions longer so that it will equalize itself with the ball carrying further, so it'll be comparable with other Major League parks. That one down the line, and that's going to be a base hit. Played in by Thurman, and Alomar's on again. He's 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a double. And the potential go-ahead run is on with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Hit number 9 for the Jays. Middle of the order now. Here's Carter. He's due. 0 for 3. We certainly wish the folks in Denver and in Miami best of luck as they put together Major League ball clubs.
Well, I don't like that, moving the fence back. I played in Denver in AAA for 3 years when I was playing with the Indianapolis Indians, American Association. The ball does carry there, but you hit a line drive, and it's not going to make that much difference. The only thing that made a difference was those high, lazy fly balls. It seemed to carry another 10, 15 feet. If you had a bullet out there in left field, 375 feet, it didn't carry anymore. Shoot.
You don't want those fences back there.
I don't.
I can tell. There's why they're keeping an eye on Alomar at first. Carter is going to come through with a base hit. Alomar makes the turn. Gary Thurman will get it back in a hurry. 1st and 2nd and 1 out. And McRae's on his way out.
Well, here's that short, compact swing. Very little movement. And again, see how he locks his left side. Very short swing. Base runner knowing the ball's in. Alomar. Ball hit so hard he had no chance to go to 3rd base.
That is going to be it for Boddicker as he has given up his 10th hit in this ball game. And McRae decides it's time to make the change with Alomar and Carter getting the singles after White struck out. So Boddicker, who had retired, as we said, 12 out of the 14 before this inning, ran out of gas here, but he sure gave it a whirl. He's not going to be able to win this ball game. and could lose it, as he will be responsible for the 2 base runners who are on. And it'll be up to the bullpen now to try and get the job done. From the Dome, game tied at 5-5. Boddicker heads up.
It's the first-place team. The Angels have fallen the next to last in the West. With Mark Langston, their aces, on the mound, facing Scott Sanderson to Yankee Stadium. Louis Polonia hits one deep to left. Going back is Hensley Mullins. Over the shoulder grab makes the catch. Dave Gallagher scored. Jordan later knocked in a run, and Langston's pitching the shutout. It's 2-0 in the 5th. Let's go back to Skydome.
Thank you, Gary. And there is Mike Boddicker out of the ball game after 6 1/3 innings work. You see the 10 hits given up. Those are the numbers for him. He's responsible for the 2 base runners.
And if not for the play in the first inning with McRae, only give up 2 runs. Mike Magnanti, 6'1", 180-pound left-hander, 25 years old. Fastball, slider, screwball that he uses for a changeup.
Magnanti out of California will come in with runners on at first and second. Alomar at second. Carter at first. 1 down. Bottom of the 7th inning. Game tied at 5. And he faces John Olerud. Takes the pitch for a strike. The left-hander brought on to face Olerud, who this season is batting .261 off the lefties. Olerud has had 1 home run off the southpaw. Magnanti graduated from UCLA in 1988. A Bruins baseball player who got his degree in applied math with a computer science specialization.
Boy, computers earn run average.
Ding, 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 ding. Only played 3 years of minor league ball before being called up this season for his first major league work. He's worked 15 games all in relief. Allowed 3 earned runs in his last 8 2/3 innings of relief pitching. And Olerud takes it down low. Got a good one underway as it broke out early and then is settled in from the Skydome in Toronto. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight. 5-5 ball game. Toronto scoring all 5 of their runs in the first 2 innings. Kansas City 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the 4th. 2-run homer by David Howard. The blow that tied this ball game up. Magnanti to Olerud, fouled off, 2-2.
John Olerud going to be a great hitter. That's something he does often right there. He takes a practice swing almost after every pitch. Said it's just a habit that he started in his college days at Washington State.
He has power.
He's a very smart hitter, too. You see him start to choke up on the bat now with 2 strikes. Hits the ball the opposite way as well as anyone.
Runner goes at first. Whoa. Carter took off for second base, but Alomar wasn't going to third.
Well, Gary, actually, Alomar started and stopped, and Joe Carter always moves off the runner at second. And when Alomar started, Carter started, Alomar stopped, and Joe didn't stop quite as quickly.
He's half the way down to second base. And obviously, they were playing well behind him. Benzinger, the first baseman, was way back, couldn't get to the bag in time for any play on him. 3 ball, 2-strike count on John Olerud. 1 away. And Olerud back to the middle. Double play ball. They go to short 1. Relay is in time. So Magnanti comes on to Howard to Benzinger. They get the double play. We've completed 7 here at the Dome, and it remains 5-5.
Break, and after an hour's rain delay, they finally got things going at Yankee Stadium, and they're really going now. Against Scott Sanderson, Wally Joyner going to the deepest part of the park. Bertie Williams giving chase, goes up and catches Wall, but no ball. Loses his glasses and his hat, and the Yanks are losing the game. Langston pitching the shutout. They're up 4-0.
Back here at the Dome, there's somebody looking for that go-ahead run. Right now, it'll be the Kansas City Royals. Todd Benzinger working against McDonald. And it's up high, ball 1. Benzinger, Pecota, and Tim Spear due up at Western Division. Look, only Kansas City, the team not playing 500 baseball. Even California not that far away, and they're next to last place. It is going to be a battle. Donald wanted the call, did not get it. And the count is 2-0 on Benzinger. Benzinger hitting .232 against left-handers. Takes the strike on the outside corner this time. That'll take the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Toronto Blue Jays getting back home after the road trip. Finished up in Chicago. They're playing a string of games against the Western Division. They hope it'll pay off here at home. Two balls, 2 strikes. Benzinger, 6 strikeouts, couple of walks. Is coming over his 14th game. Fights that one off down the line into the crowd where there are very few empty seats. Believe it or not, this is a record attendance here tonight for this game. They have drawn 50,327 paid here tonight. That is a Blue Jays regular season record attendance figure. They just can't put enough seats in this place. That'll up their 48,747 average. Swung on and missed as Benzinger chased it. McDonald has his second strikeout, getting the leadoff man here in the 8th. He has struck out 2 in a row now as he got Tartable to end the 7th. One away, it'll bring up Bill Pecota. Pecota's singled and scored in the 4th inning when the Royals came from behind to tie this game up. They trailed at one point, 4-1 and then 5-2. Pecota started the 4th with a single. Terry Shumpert had an RBI, and then he scored on David Howard's 2-run homer. McDonald pushes that one in. Too far in for strike 1-1.
McDonald still throwing extremely hard. The fastball to Benzinger up 90 miles per hour. Yet to throw a fastball under 90 miles an hour.
And again misses inside. Taking a look at Bob McDonald's numbers, he's always been a reliever almost from day one, minor league level, after coming out of Rutgers University. Pops that one up and out of play. Double-A ball in 90. He had 54 strikeouts in 57 innings. In A ball, year before that, he had 58 strikeouts in 63 innings. So despite a real good fastball and the off-speed pitch, he's not blown people away at the minor league level. He's been a setup man most of the time. Nice off-speed pitch there. He's blowing them away right now. McDonald struck out 3 in a row now, and there are 2 down here in the 8th inning. We remind you, this is the first of 2 on ESPN's Friday night doubleheader. When we are completed here at the Dome, we'll take you to Steve Physiog and Dave Campbell awaiting the start of the New York Mets San Diego Padres game in San Diego, where you'll see Howard Johnson, an MVP candidate in the National League, and so is Tony Gwynn, the league's leading hitter. The Mets and the Padres next. 2 down, bases are empty, and Spear, who walked and scored in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 6th.
Well, strikeout scares all location. Here's a changeup down the middle of the plate, but the speed of the ball got Pecota out. But McDonald locating extremely well. That fastball he's thrown up in the strike zone, and that changeup has just been outstanding.
Ray, there's no question today you can make a very nice living if you can work in the middle of a ball game as a setup pitcher. They are a valuable commodity. A 1-1 miss. They check it first, and he went around, says Dave Phillips. 1-2.
Well, when you throw 90 miles an hour, you have a tendency to start your bat a little sooner. Here's a slider in off the plate. Spear just looking for the fastball and jumps out there with the bat barrel.
1-2 delivery to him. He'll foul that off the other way, holding the count. Rookie getting his opportunity, as we said, because of the injury that has taken Mike McFarland out of the lineup. for 6 to 8 weeks. Spears going to get a chance. Just got a piece of that. He was through badly.
Garrett, he was fooled, but this is a hanging breaking ball. Now, this is why you get in trouble. That's just a breaking ball that spins in there about thigh high. That's a pitch you have to hit. Guy throwing 90 miles an hour, throwing changeup 73. When he hangs a breaking ball, you better put it in play.
You can get a very good cut at that one, huh? 1-2 delivery to Spear. That one is up the middle for a base hit. Bobbled in center, but not enough for Spear to move up as White will get it back in. So McDonald gives up a 2-out single here in the 8th inning, and Spear is on. First base, keeping the inning alive with Terry Shumpert coming up. Spear, recall, from Omaha, where he was playing AAA baseball and was hitting .274 there. Pretty good average at AAA. Now Shumpert, who delivered a big hit in the 4th, picking up an RBI. McDonald's fastball drilled into the corner, and it is a foul ball. You can see there's so little room over there. Outfielders in right and left field, when they get down into the corner, it is really tough because the stands come right out to the foul line. You start charging over there trying to make a play, you've got to be careful. You've got about 1 step in foul territory.
Shumpert mentioned McRae and Adrian Garrett working on him, trying to get him to go up the middle and stay on the baseball. You see there, he keeps his head down, almost forcing that ball out to right field. Gary?
He is staying down, isn't he?
He really is. But they work on it every day with that soft toss and the batting tee, trying to get him to feel natural about hitting the ball the other way. Terry, not real strong, very slender, quick man, wiry type physique, has to learn to hit the ball the other way.
He's only 2 for 19 this season against the Blue Jays. It's been a real struggle for him hitting against Blue Jays pitching. 5-5 ball game. Top of the 8th inning. The relievers are now the pitchers of record, Magnotti and McDonald. And McDonald, this is down low. Waters had it right underneath him. Finds it in time to hold Spear at first base. Second appearance for McDonald with a 2-0 record, no saves. 25 innings worked, 20 hits coming into the game. Opposition's not done much against him, batting only .208. And that's another foul ball off the fist. 2-2.
Joe Carter, playing shallow in right field, moved in a couple of steps. Thurman, not a lot of power. Center field straight away. Left field a little deeper. Don't want to let a ball get by you here. Playing a no-double situation, that runner on first will score.
Old ruled, holding the bag. McDonald, lob toss over that time. Base runner Spear. 2-2 to Shumpert. Foul back again. Shumpert is still a rookie. He got in 157 days last season, but still retains his rookie status, as most of the last year was spent on the disabled list. He hit .275, but just 32 games and only 91 at-bats for the Royals. Here's the 2-2. Shallow right. Second baseman wants this one. Easy play made by Alomar. And Shumpert's retired. No run, a base hit, 1 left on, and the runs came quick early, but not since the 4th.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by Bud Dry. Dry brewed so it drinks light yet satisfies completely. By Olympic, the family of products that protect your home from damage rain can do. Olympic stops the rain. And by Pronto, featuring quality auto parts and lower prices.
Beautiful night here in Toronto. You could put 8 Boeing 747s and a 31-story building inside this Skydome. You could also put in 516 African, 743 Indian elephants on the field. Little known.
Now, where did you get that?
This is a media guide for the Skydome, which they put all kinds of cute little things in it. You didn't believe me, did you?
No, I didn't. Kelly, just 4 home runs since the All-Star break. To see how his production has just continued to rise from 86, 31 home runs last year, has 10 home runs this year, missed a lot of the season with that hurt thumb. But those 10 home runs come in just 178 at bats. So you multiply that by 3, and he's right at the 30 home run mark.
You wonder where the Blue Jays would be as far as their distance in the lead if Kelly Gruber had been healthy all season, playing up with his usual numbers. As an offensive force. The 1-2 is a base hit the other way. Off Magnati. A leadoff single for Kelly Gruber. Now let's check in with Gary Miller.
Gary, it's Baltimore. The A's and O's were tied at 3. Dave Johnson fresh from the disabled list. Able, but seriously pissed with the bases loaded. Ernest Riles with a grand slam, the 3rd of his career. And Brooks Jacoby been traded to the A's. Riles not ready to give up 3rd base. It's 7-3.
And McRae's on his way out as Pat Tabler has been announced as the pinch hitter for France Mullinix.
Gruber showing you not only can he hit for power, that ball's 5 inches outside with 2 strikes, just serves it to right field, does exactly what he's supposed to do. Goes the opposite way with the ball with 2 strikes.
So Mike Magnati is going to leave here. He faced only 2 batters. He got the ground ball double play, though, in the 7th inning against Olerud to get out of it. Gives up the single here. 11 hits now picked up by Toronto. And Storm Davis, the former starter turned reliever, is coming on as the pinch hitter Pat Tabler will await his arrival.
Earlier in the game at the Metrodome, Chili Davis hit his 22nd home run, but Milwaukee had a 3-2 lead with the Twins batting in the 7th. Chili does it again, this time doubling inside the left field line, and Jarvis Brown, pinch running, ties the game at 3. Twins still threatening. It's 3-all with Milwaukee as they play the 8th.
Another good one going there. We've got one going here with this game tied up at 5-5. Magnati out, Storm Davis on.
Storm Davis, 6'4", 225, used mostly in relief this year, has done a great job the last 3 or 4 weeks, according to Hal McRae. Expect the bunt here in bottom of the 8th inning. One reason why Cito Gaston does not make a move to go to his bench.
Tabler is the pinch hitter. Does square around, takes it, and it misses for a ball. Game on the line now, bottom of the 8th inning, and tied up. Tabler's job to get that runner moved up. Tabler has had 1 sacrifice bunt this season. He's 6 for 14 as a pinch hitter with 4 RBIs. Cito Gaston making the move to get him in for Mullinix.
Gary, a lot of times when you get the count in your favor, the manager will give you a hit and run, especially a guy that handles the bat the way Pat Tabler does. Doesn't pull the ball, but he's doing the right thing. Toronto last year was just brutal fundamentally. They didn't run the bases well. They did not bunt well. Made errors at crucial times. This year, much more sound fundamentally. Those things are racking up wins.
Storm Davis looking into Tabler, who's batting .357 against right-handers this season. He's got Kelly Gruber on at first base, nobody out. And he's holding him as close as he can, hoping to get that ground ball double play. 1 ball, 1 strike. 11 hits for the Jays, 8 for the Royals. Tabler squares and again takes it, and again it's low. 2-1. Just as we expected, this ball game, which looked like it was going to be slugfest at the beginning, has really settled in. Key and Boddicker, the two starters, settle down, and now the relievers battling. Bunts it fair. Benzinger does not go to second, makes the play to Shumpert covering at first base. So Tabler will be credited with the sacrifice, getting Gruber down to second with one away. Now Davis will have to work to Rob Ducey.
First base open. Pat Borders right-handed hitter next. I wouldn't be surprised if they walk Ducey here.
Ducey stepping out, just checking on the sign as you see Waters waiting on deck. Davis way inside, probably wanting to see if anything was going to happen right there.
The Storm's going to pitch Rob very tough. Rob, good contact hitter, 2 hits tonight. Pat Borders on deck. Manny Lee, switch hitter in the hole.
Ducey 0 for 5, lifetime against Storm Davis. 1-0 delivery to him. Fouls it back, a ball and a strike with 1 out. Potential go-ahead run waiting at second base. Ducey singled in each of his first 2 at-bats, flied to center his last time up.
Cito Gasson has Myers and switch-hitting Mookie Wilson on the bench in case he does want to pitch hit for Borders.
Gruber off second base. Inside corner. 1 and 2.
The fans are booing, but that's a great pitch. Storm Davis has always had good movement. This ball starts inside, moves right back across the plate. Catcher kind of stabs at the ball, but that's a good pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Ducey foul tips it. Waters could not hang on to that one.
Storm just
could not hang on to it.
Excuse me, Gary. Storm just going right at him, pumping fastball after fastball. That's 6 fastballs in a row. The Storm has thrown since he's coming to the ball game.
He won Wednesday night's game, his first win in relief, and his first win since April 23. Lost 6 games in a row. Working here with Kelly Gruber, getting the lead at second base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again to Ducey. Bounce. Nice stop made that time by Spear, and Gruber stays at second base. 2-2. Don't forget the second half of our doubleheader. The Mets and the Padres from San Diego. Steve Pizzion and Dave Campbell will have that second half of our Friday night doubleheader of baseball here on ESPN. It'll be coming right along as soon as we have completed this one. Ojo and Gwynn and company. Mets and Padres. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gruber getting a pretty good lead at second. It won't matter on that one. Davis comes on and gets the strikeout of Ducey, and now there are 2 down with a runner on at second base, and Borders due up. And Borders, Myers is going to come up pinch hit for him, so Borders will not get his at-bat here. Myers, who has been doing a lot of work this season, will get the opportunity right here with that runner on at second base for Greg Myers as a pinch hitter, 1 for 5 and an RBI. Got a chance to pick up the go-ahead RBI. He can get a base hit here.
Good fastball hitter, Gary. Likes the ball down. Everything so far that you see he's kind of walking. Rather go with Manny Lee, but I think this is a good choice. This man can hit a fastball down. Storm Davis going mostly fastballs. Just a choice whether or not you want to face Myers and Manny Lee. I think it's definitely the right choice.
Sets up that forced play. Intentional pass by Storm Davis. One note, Manny Lee is 9 for 21 lifetime against Storm Davis. That's a .429 batting average. However, Davis has struck him out 9 times, so it's been all or nothing for Lee against Davis. So the game on the line. Runners at first and second. 2 down. Bottom of the 8th inning. 5-5 Davis. It seemed way out in front of that one. Strike one.
Their managers really think 2 or 3 hitters ahead. Hal McRae deciding that Rob Ducey was the man he wanted to get out, so he goes right at him with all fastballs. Storm Davis punches him out. The pinch hit Greg Myers for Borders. McRae decides he does not want to face Myers and goes to face Manny Lee.
He went again. That's called getting out of sync in an at-bat in a hurry. He's down on the count 0-2.
Well, Manny Lee must have heard me talk because Storm Davis has done nothing but throw fastballs. Manny going up there looking for one thing, a fastball, and jumps out of front of both of those breaking balls.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. 2 on. Got him. It'll be played by Spear to first, and that will take care of that. So a chance for Toronto in the 8th. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 are left on base. It's still 5-5. Well, the biggest crowd ever for a regular season game. Getting to see a good one here at the Dome. 50,300, 5-5, and we're going to the 9th inning, and we will see the 3rd Blue Jays pitcher. Our storyline here tonight, a real rocky start for the starters, Key and Boddicker, as the hits were flying in the first couple of innings of this ball game, and then both of them settled down, and so have the relievers. McRae misjudging a fly ball that ended up going as a hit, and it ended up being a 4-run first inning, and then the first extra base hit ever for David Howard. It was a 2-run homer in the 4th inning that tied this ball game up.
Well, Gary, there's the big swing, Kelly Gruber. You see the ball already up to its apex before McRae even starts in. So you're exactly right. After seeing that thing again for the 3rd time, that ball was well up into the air before McRae ever made a move on it. I don't think he saw the ball.
I don't think he did either. He started back, I think, on the sound and then couldn't find it. Here is Dwayne Ward, 27-year-old right-hander.
And Gary, this man has tremendous stuff. 97-mile-an-hour fastball has been clocked out with great movement. Has a slider and a changeup. Led the American League relievers last year in strikeouts. This year has punched out 81 guys in just 65 innings.
And he's facing Kurt Stillwell, who has come on to pinch hit for David Howard. And Stillwell takes the strike on the outside corner. Stillwell, the switch hitter, 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter. 300 right-handed, 231 left-handed. 5 home runs, 4 of them have been hit from the left side. So Stillwell leading it off for the Royals in the 9th inning. Dwayne Ward's delivery is fouled off. Right off the top hand on the fists, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, this is quite an assignment. Kurt Stillwell sits over there for 3 hours and then comes in and faces a guy throwing 96 miles per hour. The last pitch, slider, but the fastball prior to that, 96 miles per hour.
It's bringing it.
That's bringing it.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Gary Thorne with Ray Knight and our crew here in Toronto in this first half of our Friday night doubleheader on ESPN. 1-2 delivery by Ward. Again, tap foul as he went for the outside of the plate. Ward is averaging 1.2 strikeouts per inning this season. Again, he's collected 3 saves against Kansas City this year. Stillwell just fighting to get on base here. going to do it. Did not tag him. Play's got to be made. Myers stays in to catch, and it'll be a strikeout and a put-out, one away. Gary?
Gary, here's what's going on in Arlington. The Tigers had a 1-0 lead for Walt Taro, but with a man at third, Rafael Palmeiro hits a fly to right. Rob Deere loading up the cannon, going to try and nail Brian Downing, but the throw's up the line. But Downing makes it interesting. Remember Wade Boggs a night ago playing around at home plate? Well, the Rangers have tied it. They've gone to the 7th, one apiece. Back to Skydome.
Tie ball game seemed to be in the run here tonight. We will get another pinch hitter. Gary Thurman, the leadoff batter, due up. Jim Eisenreich has picked up the bat, and he will come out to work against Ward with one away, nobody on in the 9th inning. 7 have been left on by Toronto in this game. 6 by Kansas City. Kansas City, those left only 1 in scoring position. 4 have been left in scoring position by the Blue Jays. Jim Eisenreich now in the pinch hitter's role as we see the veterans coming off the bench. Eisenreich's had a very good season. 3 for 14 as a pinch hitter with 1 pinch hit RBI, but you saw the big numbers overall for him. Fastball by Ward almost kills Myers. Got out of the way in a hurry. The only pitcher in the majors to pitch at least 100 innings in relief during each of the past 3 years. That's Ward.
Boy, he's just got that free and easy motion, that real limber arm, and 6'4", 220 pounds.
1-1 count, 1 away. Eisenreich not going to catch that heat. 1-2.
Jimmy's a good fastball hitter. He hits a lot of balls to left field, but he tends to put the ball in play. He's going to have to quicken up a little bit.
Start swinging on the windup. Eisenreich towards second base. Alomar makes the play to John Olerud, and there are 2 down. 2 away, nobody on. Ward coming on, getting it done. Will now face McRae. Don't forget, second half of our doubleheader. Mets and Padres. They are just about ready to get underway in San Diego. Hojo and Gwynn, Mets and Padres. Steve Physiog, Dave Campbell have that for you just as soon as this one is completed here. 2 down, nobody on. Grounded foul. Looking ahead, White, Alomar, Carter due up. The bottom of the 9th inning for Toronto. Gray's hit last time up, single. Got thrown out though at second base. Made a big turn, tried to stretch it into a double. Play went 9-6-3 to get him. And Myers blocks another one. Just about the point where Greg Myers said, you know, I've been sitting on the bench for 8 innings. Maybe I just should have stayed there for one more. He's taken 1 off the left arm and 1 off the chest.
And those balls tear you up, Gary. I caught a little bit in my career, and that's that hard slider that he's getting on top of, and that spin just makes that ball bite right into that body. Luckily, he's catching most of those on the chest protector, but start getting the elbows and forearms. Ouch.
1-1. Bottom fell out of that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, we talk about how great his fastball is, 95 miles an hour. His changeup is devastating. He's thrown 2 or 3 of those tonight. That last one.
Gone. Oh, Ward doing exactly what he gets paid to do and does consistently. Retires the side in order, striking out 2. Toronto bottom of the 9th inning. Chance for a last at-bat win. Well, let's see if the Toronto Blue Jays can get one in their last at-bat under the luck of the full moon here in Toronto. Oh, what a beautiful day. Last couple of days. Just cool enough for the warm sun and perfect night. The dome open. Leadoff batter, Devon White. Singled and scored in the first, 0 for 3 cents. 5-5. Jays try and pick up win number 57. While the Kansas City Royals are trying to keep a 5-game win streak alive. Storm Davis on in relief. Working on the mound against White. Right field. Going back on it deep. Carter ball off the wall. White on his way to second base. A lead-off ninth-inning double. Fourth double of the season. He's tied for sixth in the league in 2 baggers.
Devon hit 24 home runs, so don't let this power surprise you. Big, long swing. Carnival ball just jolted out there. Has no chance but to just play it off the wall. Devon White with that great speed, coasting to second base.
So the potential winning run is on for the Toronto Blue Jays. Thorne Davis now has to work to Roberto Alomar. Let's see what they have him doing here. Dakota at third, playing in, looking for the bunt. Benzinger creeping in at first. There it is, down to third, but it is foul. Strike one. This is such a tough play for a third baseman. Dakota plays, Ray, that's your position.
Will carry your cost. The third baseman is pretty much on the line. The bunters are taught to bunt the ball hard down the third base line to make the third baseman feel the ball. It's really not that difficult if you get in your mind's eye anything down the line you feel.
Off the glove, runner going to third. Shumpert will make the play. When off Storm Davis's glove, it gets the runner moved up. 1 out.
Interesting choice here for Hal McRae. Did all the right things in the prior inning. Yeah, Joe Carter here with first base open. Guy that's on the way to another 100 RBI season. John Olerud on deck. And then Gruber in the hole. He's going to pitch Joe Carter very carefully here. Try to get him out and break him balls, I imagine, away. Probably walk Olerud if he gets him out. Try to get Gruber. No left-handers in the bullpen. So it's all Storm Davis.
So Carter with a chance to win this ball game. 68 RBIs, third in the league. You see the Blue Jays. He ain't going to get a chance to do it.
That's very tough. Well, I tell you, when a guy drives in as many big runs as Joe Carter, I don't care if you're right-handed, left-handed, or throw with both hands. It's very difficult to go at him. Joe walked in there looking back at the catcher, knowing that this is going to be the choice that McRae makes.
And John Olerud wait for his turn at bat.
Well, it's a very interesting move because now you face a guy, Olerud, who's a left-handed hitter, contact hitter, doesn't try to do too much with the ball. So now do you go ahead and walk him and pitch to Kelly Gruber with the bases loaded and try to get a force at the plate or turn a double play?
The decision that's going to be made right here. Olerud waiting. Storm Davis talking with his catcher and his shortstop. Stillwell is in at short now. Stayed in the ball game. John Olerud is also going to draw the intentional pass to load the bases up here because it doesn't matter. The only one that matters is that third base.
And what it does, Gary, it just points out that much rather pitch to Gruber than Carter in an RBI situation, but it also enables them to go for two or make a play at the plate, takes pressure off the defense. So if Gruber and Carter are equal hitters, then you go to Gruber because it takes pressure off your defense.
One away, bottom of the ninth, game tied at 5-5. Bases are loaded. Kelly Gruber. They are underway in San Diego. The Mets and the Padres coming up right after this one. Kelly Gruber, lifetime against Storm Davis, is 5 for 17. Davis has struck him out 4 times. And the 50,000 plus are roaring at the Dome.
And you can also bet with that 130 batting average with runners in scoring position that we showed earlier comes into play here with Hal McRae, although he's 2 for 5 with the bases loaded.
Infield. Drawn in. They want to be able to make that play at the plate here with one away, or be sure they turn two.
Well, you see that the second baseman and shortstop are in double play depth. The first and third baseman are playing in.
Storm Davis, 0-1 count and 1 out. Outfield shallow. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes.
This shows great confidence in Storm Davis's ability to throw strikes. Anytime you walk the bases loaded with 1 out, puts a tremendous amount of pressure on that pitcher to be able to throw the ball over the plate. Storm coming right down the heart of the plate with 2 good fastballs down.
McRae, arms crossed, waiting. Will his team be able to have a play? Devon White's the lead runner. Inside, high, and foul back by Gruber. 0-2. Devon White, who got this started with a double here in the 9th inning. 0-2 delivery by Davis. He got him. A called third strike. Gruber turns on the home plate umpire, John Hirschbeck.
What sets this up is the fastballs inside. 3 fastballs a row inside, then a fastball away. Gruber looking in. This pitch is right there, baby. That's a strike.
What a huge strikeout.
You watch this ball right there on the outside black of the plate. Gruber thinking inside after being pounded in there by Storm Davis.
Davis has struck out 3 and walked 3 intentionally. Bases remain loaded, 2 down. Bottom of the 9th, 5-5 game. So now it is Pat Tabler, who came on and stayed in as the DH, has 1 at-bat. Delivered a sacrifice, and the only time he's been up.
And this man is the best hitter with runners, with the bases loaded, anybody in baseball. 494 career batting average with bases loaded.
He's been called Mr. Bases Loaded. Yeah, it's incredible in his career. Davis, nasty pitch, low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs.
Storm Davis getting it up there, 94 miles an hour. He's a little pumped up.
All pumped up right now.
If he's not pumped right now, he will never be pumped.
One delivery. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike on Tabler.
Well, that's where Pat Tabler gets you. Very patient hitter. Doesn't swing in a lot of bad pitches. Tremendous concentration. Doesn't pull too many pitches. Hits a lot of balls up the middle. Excellent triple pitch hitter. 2-in-1 hitter, 3-in-1 hitter.
There's the story right there. The only run that matters is at third base, Devon White. Of course, now with 2 down, everybody's back, infield and outfield. There's White, potential winning run. Bottom of the 9th, 2-1 delivery. Tabler fouled, tipped it, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you one thing, Storm Davis is coming right at him. He's taking that relief role to heart. When you come in out of the pen in these kind of situations, that's all you can do. There's no room. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Davis to Tabler. Grounded towards first. He's got to get over to cover. Plays in time. Great coverage by Storm Davis. Dave Phillips, the first base umpire, double clutched. That's how close that play was. Tabler is out on the play made at first. And we will go to the 10th inning of a 5-5 game. Davey Phillips singing along with the rock and roll. Boy, did he have a tough call. This is a game-deciding call at first base. Benzinger moving off the bag on the ground ball with Tabler charging, and Davis trying to get there ahead of him. Watch as Tabler slides in head first. You make the call, and watch Phillips, the umpire. Does he start to say safe? No. And we're going to the 10th. Nobody argued. So they leave the bases loaded. All the strategy works. Couple of intentional passes after White let it off with a double. There are the extra inning numbers. One-run ball games this season. Toronto's 18-10. Kansas City's 12-11. And here in this opening game of a three-game series, Ward and Davis are now the pitchers off record. Third pitcher for each team. And Brett will lead it off. Brett, Tartable, and Benzinger here in the 10th. What a finish to the bottom of the ninth inning that was. This is what Kansas City wanted. They get in to Toronto at 5 o'clock this morning. Won't show up so much here tonight, but they got a day game tomorrow. That's where the travel will catch up with it. The day game after a night game after you got in to see the sunrise. There's Tabler. He did all he could to get to first base. 1-1 delivery, and Brett doesn't catch that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You're looking at George Brett there, one of the all-time great fastball hitters, but this ball is up and running away. Still tremendous bat speed there.
He went, says home plate umpire Hirschbeck. Brett wants it checked, but that's not the way the rule works.
I want to see it again. It didn't look like to me he went either, but always, no. They always use the front part of that plate as a barometer there. George, he didn't feel like he went. He said, I don't even think that's close, John. John Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire. Nasty pitch there, that slider down.
Bounced. Here's Danny Tartable, so he's going to get a chance in extra innings to keep his 9-game hit streak alive. The strikeout is the third for Ward. 1 down here in the 10th inning. 0 for 3 and a walk for Tartable. The crowd just kind of settles back and rolls along. Another bag of donuts.
Dwayne Ward, first pitch to Danny Tartable, 97 miles an hour on the Jugs gun.
Give you some innings, too. The opposition trying to hit him this season has been virtually impossible. Opponents coming into this game hitting 184 combined off Ward. And he gets it in for a strike. Ward in 65 and 2/3 innings prior to the appearance tonight had given up only 42 hits. Walking 19 and striking out 81. And he goes. 4 strikeouts for Ward. 2 down. Gary?
Gary, it's over at the Metrodome. The Twins had rallied to tie it in the 7th and in the 8th with the bases loaded. Dan Gladden breaks out of an 0 for 4 night and rips this double to the wall, scoring Knobloch, Gagne, and Newman. As he knocked in 4 last night, 7 tonight. Aguilera saves it for Tapani. He's tied with Lee Smith with 26 saves. 6-3 Twins.
Okay, that's the 57th win for the Minnesota Twins. They are 4 games ahead of Chicago starting the day.
Here's a pitch to Tartable. Tell me if he went. John Hirschbeck seems to be a little anxious. He's not even going across that plate. Do you think he went?
I didn't think either of them went right.
I didn't either.
There's no appeal on those, of course. Once the home plate umpire makes the call, that's it. In either case, on a strike, if he calls it a ball, the defensive team can request that he check with another umpire, and it must be done.
Well, you seldom see the home plate umpire do it unless it's really definitive. Both of those are very questionable, and it never hurts to ask. But he's only supposed to call it if he knows without a doubt that the guy swung. And I guess he did. But
he did. He did. That's what matters. Todd Benzinger down the right field line. It is deep, and it is a foul ball. Those folks don't get many right there.
Especially not with Dwayne Ward pitching.
No. 1-2 on Benzinger. Ward just watches him walk back.
Wow. 26 pitches. 96 miles an hour plus 10 pitches. Holy moly.
How many people getting on base and you're rocking those kind of numbers up there?
The thing about it, too, Gary, it's not a straight fastball. It has some wide movement on it.
Benzinger fights it off. Count holds at 1-2. Benzinger has faced Ward 4 at-bats previously, picking up 1 hit against him. Trying to get on here with 2 down. Top of the 10th, 5-5 game. No play. Now stays to the ball and 2 strikes. Dakota waiting. Jimmy Key, the starter, went 6 innings, 5 runs on 6 hits. McDonald came on. A couple of innings, no runs, 2 hits. Had a walk and 3 strikeouts, and now Ward in relief. 1-2 delivery. Got him. 5 strikeouts for Dwayne Ward in 2 innings. Bottom of the 10th inning. Chance again for the Jays. Those are the 3 due-up.
Jose Canseco continues in hot pursuit of Cecil Fielder's home run and RBI leads. Here he is facing Dave Johnson at Baltimore, and there it goes. Number 26 on the season, made it 8-3. He's now got 76 RBIs, so he ties Fielder for the home run lead, and he's within 2 of the RBIs. And the very next batter, Harold Baines, makes it back-to-back with his 13th. Johnson gave up 30 home runs last season. Fresh from the disabled list, he's given up 3 in this game. It's 9-5 A's in the 7th. Back to Skydome.
Oakland started to pick up some home run power here of late from the big guys. Bottom of the 10th inning here at the Dome. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight, as we roll on in this 5-5 ball game. We've not had a run scored since the 4th.
The Tom Flash Gordon, 5'9", 180 pounds, just 23 years old. Normally a starter. They have moved him out to the bullpen, been ineffective this year after winning 17 games back in '89 and in 12 last year. 32 games last year. He started all of those games. Been used in relief now for the last 3 weeks.
He's not had a lot of work coming out of the bullpen. Now McRae hoping that it will work here. It's his ball club. Fell behind in the first inning, 4-1. They battled back. David Howard, the homer, back in the 4th inning for the rookie that tied the ball game up. Now Rob Ducey working against Gordon, who when he's on can strike some people out.
He has a real good fastball, 90 miles an hour plus, big slow curveball, slider, and a changeup.
0-1 delivery to Ducey. There's the off-speed pitch. 0-2. Ducey had a single in the first, a single in the 3rd, then his flight up struck out. For Gordon, limited number of appearances, as we said, as a reliever. He's really trying to learn the position. It's only his 6th relief appearance of the year. And he starts it out with a strikeout, 1 down in the bottom of the 10th.
Gary, what you see happen so often is guys begin to swing for the home run when it's a tie ball game late. You start seeing a lot of guys punch out. One swing in glory.
Yeah. One away, nobody on. Greg Myers. Myers came on and drew an intentional walk in the 8th inning. Storm Davis, 2 innings, no runs, a hit, 3 intentional walks, and 3 strikeouts. He did an excellent job in relief. And Gordon's throwing strikes, 0-2. Gordon had 14 starts, ERA of 4.39. He's up to 104 innings work. Giving up 13 home runs. They've bothered him. 61 walks. Ray was talking about Boyd. Just a bit of it. Greg Myers given some time off, not starting tonight. Cito Gaston saying before the game he thought Myers might have been just a little bit tired. He wanted to rest him. Now in the extra inning ball game, he's working behind the plate again. 2 balls, 2 strikes on him. Myers has had a bit of a struggle at the plate of late. That's why Gaston wanted to give him a little rest. 2-2 delivery to him. Popped up, left side, shallow left field. Stillwell, the shortstop. And there are 2 down. As we play here, so do they go at it in San Diego, and we will take you there just as soon as this game has been decided. The Mets and the Padres underway. Mets are leading 1-0. They're in the bottom half of the second inning. Second half of our doubleheader on ESPN. Steve Physiog, Dave Campbell are there. We'll take you there just as soon as we're done here. Gordon, you got that one up to Lee, but it's playable. Tartable hauls it in. That'll take care of that. So Gordon comes on and retires the Blue Jays in order in the 10th inning here at the Dome. We will go to the 11th due up.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by Miller High Life. Buy that man a Miller. Buy that fan a Miller. By Ramada. Ramada for the people who get it done. And by Upper Deck. Nobody does baseball like Upper Deck.
And we are doing baseball here as we go to the 11th inning, game tied at 5-5. With Ward and Gordon, the relievers. There you see the lineup card as the changes are being made and players being scratched out so that the managers know who they have left. Of course, the one being used by Hal McRae. Top of the 11th inning. Ward, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He has retired all 6 batters faced. Pecota, Spear, and Shumpert due up here. And a strike taken by Bill Pecota. Second inning, 4th inning singles for him. Up high, ball and a strike. Ray, we were just looking on Ward. He's now entering the territory where he usually doesn't go any further. 3 innings. Inside for a ball.
It'll be interesting to see how his velocity drops off, if it does, if he goes in this inning deep.
Second base and a base hit. Pecota going the other way. Alomar dove for it. Did not have a play, and Bill Pecota's got his 3rd hit now, 3 for 5, leading off the 11th inning with a single. So there's the potential go-ahead run for the Kansas City Royals. And Tim Spear, the rookie catcher, has had a decent night tonight is up. As the hits continue to pile up, Kansas City now close to the double digits.
Well, Spear will definitely be bunting here, I believe. And McRae has Maine, Brent Maine, Cromartie, and Gibson on the bench. Seitzer's over there. Can play second base. They've worked him out there a little bit for Shumpert. So we'll see if he pinch hits for Shumpert in a situation that might mean the ball game.
1 sacrifice thus far for Spear, going for 2. They got to play at second base. Ward guns it in time. They get the lead runner.
Well, we won't know.
Gordon, that was a great play. A quick throw made.
Spear bunts the ball right back to Ward. Ward comes up short, hops it, and just throws a BB to second. Ball moving. Manny making a good play, staying with that ball. Dakota getting a big lead, 2 steps out on the AstroTurf, but Ward's arm just makes this play.
It was a cutter, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was a cutter or a sinker,
tailing up.
He got it there in a hurry.
So Pacoda, the lead runner, taken out on the play at second base. And one away. Spear ends up on it first, and Gibson at the bat rack, and Galen Cisco out to the mound. Kirk Gibson's going to try and add to his list of heroics here. Cisco out to talk about how they want to work to him here. Thinking about some heroics, you know, the first ALCS featured 2 expansion teams. They happen to be including Sundberg, Jays, and Jim Sundberg's 3-run triple would highlight a 4-run 6th inning that ended up in a victory in Game 7. The Royals, coming from behind, 3-1 deficit in that series to Toronto. They won it. Gibson knows all about those kind of heroics. He's been there before for those infamous World Series hits and home runs and double clutches around the base paths. Now Gibson up here, runner at first base, 1 out. 5-5 in the 11th. Taken inside, ball 1.
Kirk dead fastball hitter. Ward starting him off with a breaking ball down and in. Thought that Dwayne might lose a little bit on his fastball. This inning so far, he's thrown 6 pitches, 5 of 96, 197. So he hasn't lost anything.
Gibson has 294 at bats this season. Something off that one. 2 for 4 as a pinch hitter for Kirk Gibson.
We respect Kirk Gibson's ability to hit the fastball. They're a breaking ball that moves straight down. That may have even been a changeup. He hasn't thrown very many changeups, but that ball went a little down. Most of his sliders break down and in.
He's faced Ward 4 times, 0 for 4.
That's working. That's moving just like a split finger pitch. Nobody said he had a split finger pitch. Man, that's scary.
That's all he needs, right? Penn just kind of sitting back and enjoying it. That's the way it moved.
Jim Acker on the left and Tom Hinkie on the right.
1-2 the count to Gibson. Runner at first. Did he swing? No. He did not hit the baseball. And the runner will move down. That just bounced. So that puts Spear down at second base on the wild pitch.
Another pitch down, and that is much more of a swing than we saw earlier with Brett and Tartable. Just a split finger there. You see his hand come off the baseball. Wild pitch. Not a whole lot that Greg Myers can do.
Home plate umpire Hirschbeck's on his way to the Blue Jays dugout. Cito Gaston. He's gone. That's what he was arguing about. Ray, I did not see a request that swing be appealed to the third base umpire. Hirschbeck,
I didn't either.
I didn't see anybody appeal it. I don't know why they didn't.
I think that's probably what Cito was arguing about, Jerry. He may have asked for an appeal, and John did not ask for it or didn't hear him or something. I don't.
Well, if he asked for it, he's got to give it.
He's got to do it. That's what Cito was irate about, I believe. We saw in the replay that was much more of a swing than either Brett or Tartable took. Gibson going way out in front of the plate, trying to check that swing. And Cito, one of those guys that doesn't get mad very often.
He's mad now. Davey Phillips, first base umpires, moved in between them. Gaston's already been thrown out of the game.
see the check swing again. Watch Gibson. Look at the front of the plate. If his bat passes that, it's a swing. This bat goes way past the front of the plate. A good shoot. He's almost out there a foot or two in front of the plate. And I don't know if John just didn't ask or what.
Ward gets his 6th strikeout. And there are 2 down. He has tied his season high of 6 strikeouts. We mentioned earlier his longest outing this season, 3 innings. He's done that twice. He had 6 strikeouts in a 3-inning performance back on the 18th of June. Now he's got 6 strikeouts, and he hasn't reached 3 innings yet.
Gary, he went straight to the breaking ball with Kirk Gibson, throwing 6 straight breaking balls, not even showing him the fastball.
Kurt Stillwell, runner still at second base now. The person of Tim Spear. Ball 1 on that one, 2 down. We have a 5-5 game here in the 11th inning. Stillwell, lifetime against Ward, 2 for 12. Fouls that one back, 1-1. I'm assuming on that Gibson question of the swing that they must have requested the third base umpire whether or not he went around, and we just didn't see it. 1-1 delivery. Outside corner, just missed. 2-1, and you saw John Hirschbeck's shoulder start to fly out in a strike motion. Getting a little tough here in the 11th on everybody. 2-1. That potential go-ahead run. Spear at second. Stillwell waiting. This is inside. 3-1.
Well, the fans are going to be all over, but John Hirschbeck, one of those guys that gives everything he has. Works really hard behind the plate. One of the umpires I really have great respect for, Gary. When I came over to the American League, I had a little tough time adjusting to the umpiring.
Ward with a 3-1 delivery. Chopped towards the middle. This is going to be a very tough play. No play. Infield single. Staying at third base is Spear. It's one of those carpet hits, first and third. Gary?
Gary, a wild one at Baltimore. We showed you all the A's home runs, but with the bases loaded, Dwight Evans pinch hitting off Gene Nelson. And it's just inside the foul pole, a grand slam home run. Home run number 383 of his career, his 6th career grand slam, and the A's have blown a 6-run lead. It's 9-all in the 8th.
There you have the story of the Oakland A's right now. Their bullpen, which was untouchable last season, is touchable this year.
Oh, they are. Eckersley's given up home runs. Nelson, a guy that always has gotten to Eckersley, but with a 4-run lead, you don't go to Eck. But maybe they should have.
Jim Eisenreich getting his second at-bat, came on and grounded out in the 9th inning when he was the pinch hitter for Gary Thurman. Runners at first and third, 2 down. Spear is the lead runner. Stillwell picked up the infield single. He's at first. 2 away, 5-5, top of the 11th. Eisenreich trying to get that go-ahead run home here. 2 down. Ward's delivery to him way inside. Play made by Myers. Joined us late, and you could have. It's been a 5-5 game since the 4th inning.
Defense, Kelly Gruber there. Eisenreich being a very good runner with good speed. Just a couple steps behind the line. Everybody else straight away.
2 for 7 against Ward. Eisenreich. 1-2.
Just let that speak for itself.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Eisenreich. This is down low and away. 2-2. No walks, 6 strikeouts, 2 hits off Ward.
Big hole on the right side, Gary. Olerud choosing to hold Stillwell on. Any kind of bouncing ball over there, be a base hit through that right side.
Eisenreich waiting. Grounds it towards second base. Alomar will go the short way, and they get the third out. Alomar to lead. So Kansas City's opportunity to try and get it done is gone. No runs, a couple of hits, and 2 are left on.
Tight pitch game in Texas. The Rangers and Tigers tied at 1. We take you to the 8th with Dean Palmer facing Paul Gibson. He pops it up. Juan Gonzalez at third. Travis Fryman somehow loses the ball at 10:15 at night. Picks it up, is going to try and get Gonzalez at the plate. Too late. They've taken the lead 2-1. Then with 2 out in the top of the 9th, Fryman homered. It's tied. We go back to Skydome.
Thank you, Gary. And here, biggest crowd ever in a regular season. Few of them have left, but we're still here in a 5-5 ball game. Bill Picota's moved to second base. Kevin Seitzer's come on to play third. Gordon is on in relief. He retired the side in order in the 10th. Works here to the top of the order. Devon White, Alomar, and Carter. White led off the 9th inning with a double, and they ended up leaving the bases loaded. The strategy worked for the Royals, who had Storm Davis intentionally walk 3 in the 2 innings that he worked. Gordon gets the strike. White's going to do it again. Same place he hit it in the 9th. Cut off this time by Tartable, and a leadoff single for Devon White. He's 3 for 6. Well, he's doing his part.
He's having a big year right up top. Fastball right down the middle of the plate, and he drives it out there. He just, the last 2 balls he's hit, if he had gotten them up at all, he'd be headed home right now, because those pitches are drilled. Devon with that great speed. Alomar, great handler of the bat. Should be bunting here again, though.
He has 11 sacrifice bunts. Alomar expected to try another one here.
Kevin Seitzer right on top of him at third base. 10 feet in front of the bag and moving in as Gordon delivers the pitch.
13 hits now for the Jays. Alomar bunting again. Gordon's going to play at second base. Won't go. Gets the safe out at first with Pecota, the second baseman, taking the throw. Sacrifice number 12 on the year for Alomar. That's a winning run at second base. 1 out. McRae's glove is dabbled right on the bitter edge. They're going to intentionally walk Carter again. We're having a repeat of the 9th inning.
Well, he did it one time. He'll do it again. Acting manager Galen Cisco for the Blue Jays.
In the 9th inning, when White had the double, they intentionally walked Carter and Olerud to get the bases loaded. And the Jays were unable to get the run in with the bases loaded, 1 out. Olerud this time should get a shot at it against Gordon.
He's showing great respect for Joe Carter here and his ability to drive in runs. You have Olerud, who's one of the finest young hitters in the game, left-hander facing the right-hander. And instead of going to try to get Carter out, then walking Olerud to pitch to Gruber, he chooses to walk Carter.
All right, let's check in with Gary Miller.
Gary, if and when the game ends in Skydome, we'll be taking out to Jack Murphy. Sid Fernandez looking for his first win of the year. Gerald Clark hitting it into the gap. Vince Coleman, fresh from the disabled list. Nice running grab. It's 1-0 Mets on a fielder's choice as they play the 3rd. Back to Skydome.
And we'll go there as soon as this one gets decided. John Olerud has one hit off Gordon, 1 for 12. That hit was a home run. He has runners at first and second with 1 out. Bottom of the 11th, 5-5 game. Olerud takes the pitch down low. Ball 1. That has continued what has been a troublesome spot for Olerud. Moving people around. He's got 2 on here. The only one that matters right there. White with great speed at second base. Olerud takes it up high. Ball 2.
You're not going to get him to chase too many bad pitches. John Olerud, very patient at the plate. Gene Tennis thinks that he may be too patient. Needs to be a little more aggressive. Sometimes he takes pitches that he really can hit well. He gets in a hole.
2-0 count. Gordon, will he come to him? 3 balls, no strikes. On deck, Kelly Gruber.
I wouldn't be surprised if he turns him loose here. Olerud has that great eye. I wouldn't be surprised if he swings.
3-0. 4 out of the strike zone. They're loaded again. Talk about living dangerously. Matt Dobson, the pitching coach, on his way out now for Kansas City. Bases loaded, 1 out. Jays needing just that runner at third. Devon White again to cross the plate, and this ball game will be over.
Well, control has been Tom Gordon's problem all year, Gary. You mentioned that. 61 walks in 104 innings. Almost 4.5 walks per 9 innings.
No room here, and he faces Kelly Gruber. Gruber came up with the bases loaded in that 9th inning and was called out on strikes. So he gets a second chance. Gruber doubled in a run in the 1st inning and a single in the 8th. Bases loaded, 1 away. Anything that scores that runner and the ball game will be over. Everybody's moved in, infield and outfield. Kelly Gruber, deep to left field. If it's fair, it's over. It is a foul ball.
Tommy Gordon hangs a breaking ball. Watch his reaction. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Good foul. Look at the outfield there. About 220 feet from home plate.
Strike 2.
The outfield plays where they know they can throw the man out with their arm. They play according to the strength of their arm.
That's what he's done with the bases loaded against Gordon. Lifetime 4 for 19. Bases loaded, 1 away. Kelly Gruber trying to end this ball game. 0-2 delivery. That's where you earn your money in the major leagues. When you take that pitch. Gordon ahead on the count, 1-2 to Gruber. Again, the 1-2 delivery. Gruber fouls it off. White blasting towards home plate from third. Anything hit. Kelly Gruber can't get it done. Pat Tabler waiting again. Devon White. He scores. They win. One down, the 1-2 delivery again. 2-2. Gordon has a tremendous curveball.
He sure does, and he has had trouble with command of that pitch. He dropped down on that ball right there. It looks like trying to throw a little slider. His best curveball is straight over top.
Here's the 2-2. Gruber to third. Runner coming home. Bobbled by Seitzer. It's over. An error on Kevin Seitzer. The Blue Jays win it 6-5.
Seitzer put in the 10th inning as they made the shift. Sit over that bench for 3 hours. They always say it's tough to pinch hit, but let me tell you, it's tough to play defense when you sit over there for a long time. Breaking ball hit hard to him, tries to make the play, booted it. Blue Jays win.
Wow. Tough way to finish for the Kansas City Royals as they lose it 6-5 on this play. And you see he had plenty of time to get the ball to the plate to get the out on White, but he couldn't do it. So they win it in extra inning. The victory goes to Ward. His record now goes to 3-3. The loser is Gordon. He is 5-9. For Ray Knight and all of our crew here at the Dome in Toronto, this is Gary Thorne. Hope you enjoyed it. Blue Jays win.